got a case at home.
Okay.
I don't know, there must be 4 feet there. I guess.
There's some places we still got 3 feet in our yard.
Well,
Yeah.
we got, I don't know, we got that much
You'll
of our
see everything.
place
Oh, okay.
out
Yep.
All right.
east, but it just won't go away. It's just a hard crust on it. It just, we
Yeah.
need a big rain, but.
All the stuff underneath the trees behind our place where the springs are, everything there is completely melted already, which is surprising.
I know, I totally.
Yeah, the pond's already melted and turning green.
Yeah,
We need to do something.
here's another sign of old age.
Where's the pair you wear on your head? Oh wait, that's the
You
girl's
know, I
trip.
did that once. I had a pair here, and I had a pair in my head.
Yep.
I'm wandering around the house.
Okay.
What are you looking for? I said, my glasses.
I was wondering that upstairs when we're, kind of
One there.
whatnot.
Clayton came up to me the other day and asked me, will you call my phone? I can't find my phone.
Oh, yeah, I do that all the
I
time.
looked at him and it was in his
Well, no, I also
hand.
think that it's,
You know,
no,
you know
I'm
Willie
saying,
Peck.
we start at 9.
Willie never.
But it- no, forget about forget what I'm saying.
He was in
Start
my
at
shop
9.
one day and somebody called me.
We're here and we all.
And he's on the phone and they're talking for quite a while.
We don't know what's going on. And then secondly, some people might want to come in and then they got to go to work. It was sort of like,
Guilty, guilty, guilty. I think once a week, guilty.
like a rock.
No, it's just, it's just sad, that is typically what.
Morning, Commissioner.
Oh.
Good morning.
Howdy. I just thought maybe you'd be eager to start off the meeting right away and get things done and then do it later at the end of the day.
So I was just talking about sending lunch to the starch.
Oh,
Yeah,
Should we, do we want to do that today?
yeah.
Okay.
Well, they don't open until 11, it's the only thing, if they can,
Okay.
how many would you need?
What do you think?
Well, I mean, you could do, so how many contracts? Do part of them and then do part of them whenever the shift changes for the other part. So they get more people.
Yeah. Do that. I guess we need to ask Ryan. And then I don't know how we would do the deputies, because,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're in.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, we could do it either way.
Can you, could you call Ryan?
He's gonna be.
I know, but could we early so we know what
I
we're
don't
doing
know his
plans?
number.
Oh.
You know?
Roman,
yeah.
I handed you changes for the minutes. Do we have last week's minutes so that we can see them?
The inaccurate questions and comments made by the public. Did we get that one?
I can address this.
Oh, yeah.
We all looked at this and went over this together.
Okay.
And I'm happy that you're asking to address that inaccurate questions and comments made by the public. I don't see the inaccuracy, Julia.
You left out at least 4 different comments
They
that
were
were made.
summarized. They were
No, they were
summarized.
not. No, they were not. The one comment was asking for both Dwayne and Roman's resignation, and that was not included in there in
I
the
believe it
minutes.
says displeasure was voiced at,
There were
I'd have
several
to see that.
there were several that came to the mic that voiced displeasure,
and
but
that's all I have to say, is there was displeasure discussed. And that is we need the substance of it. I don't word for word. He came to the podium and said resign. But I did summarize that by saying displeasure was voiced. And I'd have to look at the minutes to see how I said it. But that is the way we have always done it.
Okay,
I summarized the comments and put them in there.
Dawn, in the law, it states you must put the citizen and the topic. It does not say that you put all citizens and a citizen.
Please
Is this
do.
not a business meeting till 10 o'clock?
No, we're not, on the agenda though, we're not allowed
But
time
public
to
comment,
address
we
the
are-
minutes.
Public comment, we are allowed.
But we're not allowed to address the minutes as part of the agenda. But yet they're,
Why aren't we allowed in public comment?
in public comment we are, but the minutes, if addressed, now you've taken, it's not a public comment, it's a non-ministerial item. They have to
Yeah.
think about the changes, if any, need to be made, therefore it's not a ministerial item.
So then it should be an agenda item?
Correct, that's what I've been asking for on the agenda, is the review of the minutes and passed in front of the public.
They are passed in front of the public because we pass them in front of the public
So
here.
I did do some research, so the guy that writes this book, and he had all the Montana statutes, and he's a Robert's Rule of Order guy. And he says, there are a couple of spots in the MCA that address minutes. These sections do not provide clear or specific expectations for what is required beyond capturing the substance of the meeting in the minutes, C 2.3.2.12. If there are specific requirements or expectations the commission would like to see regarding the minutes of their meetings, it should be spelled out in a policy and adopted by a resolution. I suggest creating a policy that defines the format minutes will be taken so there's clarity about the process and it is consistently applied. So either everyone's name will be included or no one's name will be in the minutes. The discretion for adopting a policy is left to the commission to decide the style of minutes taken and archived by the county. If the commission is satisfied with the minutes and believe they are meeting the statutory expectation, the level of detail in the minutes are meeting your governing needs, both then capture your process in policy. Here is a section of MCA 23103, and
I'll bring Wally's summaries that he gave me because it does outline the AG opinion on minutes for public comment. I'm not talking about necessarily right now, I'm talking about
Yeah.
public comment. Regarding the other minutes from the 24th, on a closed meeting, you need to have who was the administration. It does not say that you were here, you were here, you were here, Wally was there, and Darren was there. I'm not asking you to list the victims. What I'm asking you is to give the official capacity of those that were present. And did that happen?
No, and I'm sorry, Juliet, it is not, until otherwise stated, am going to do it the way we have always did it, which is to capture the substance of what was said. When I summarized, 4 people said this, comments were taken voicing displeasure. That is very accurate. We have always done it that way. And then I would say, I'm also going to stick with how we have done the reporting of closed meeting. I did go in and change it to say the commissioners broke for a closed session, or the meeting broke for a closed
so
session.
yeah.
And I am going to
This
stay.
same guy answered that question of mine. He said, what you should say then is, the public meeting was closed to discuss a matter deemed to be of a private nature. Members of the public were excused during this discussion. Meeting participants included in the meeting were, and name them, but we don't say what capacity, but we should say
The health department.
who was included.
That's what I'm asking you to do.
Yeah, I agree.
I concur.
And I'm not saying I disagree with you, I just think that this is time for you guys to do your business.
Well, if it's administrative business, that's when they're doing the minutes. So
So
Did you forget to change?
they're passing the minutes
I
before the
just-
public comment, according to the minutes from last week.
but so he says.
They're what?
According to the minutes from last week, they're passing them before the public comment.
Meeting participants.
So how do we make public comment on minutes that have already been passed that are that may be inactive or inaccurate?
What?
Public comment.
Oh, well, she's partially right. We're not gonna talk about
I know,
capacity.
but, I know.
That was a moving target. We never got a say on that
Yeah.
either.
Yeah, he sent that to me last night. I was gonna talk about it today. We can adjust. I think we
The
can-
24th, yeah, I'll go
We
back.
can- we can easily
I did not
adjust
have
that.
that information, and I'm following precedent, what you guys have
Right.
always done.
Right.
You
No,
gave that to me
not
just
faulting
now,
you.
so now I'll go back and
I'm
change
running
that.
along too. I mean, that's why this guy is great. I emailed him those
Who are you
questions.
talking to?
Dan
Yeah,
Clark.
I talk to Dan all the time.
This guy.
No, I know, I do a lot with Dan Clark.
Yeah. He's pretty sharp.
No, thank you.
What about me? What about me?
Got 20 bucks taken?
No,
20.
no, also, I still go back to public comment because everything has always been capture the substance, and I can even find,
Yeah.
I'll have to go research, but where it says you don't put
That's what
every.
he said.
Yeah, So, I am gonna stay with that, but Juliet, we will make that adjustment on the 24th.
The AG opinion was that each person should get credit for their topic. You don't have to summarize or say what they said, it's the person and the topic. I will bring Wally's summaries that he gave me into you.
Okay,
Then, do you have that with you? Are you
No,
holding
I
it?
don't.
Oh.
because at this point, I'm gonna just stay where it is
Yeah.
and move on. Okay, and so
what
those were the
other-
things, that was it.
Okay,
Regarding minutes, yeah, I wrote it down.
yeah.
Yeah, that was it.
And I had written it down the week before
Yeah, and
that
I
too,
took care
about the
of the week before.
24th.
Yep, you got it. This year, we weren't gonna just do that, we were gonna,
Yeah, and there may be some others in there.
okay, so how do we put an ad in the paper for that? I think so.
There was a few times that there was more people involved than her, you know?
Oh, I know that
So you-
Luana is interested this time too.
Yeah, and there may be another person too. Because I think there's twice the money there this year than there was.
Do you think we put an ad in the paper for providing,
Remember last year, we said that she was the only one that applied last year.
Right,
We said we would investigate it.
yeah. And so now we have some more interest, huh?
Yeah, and there may be more than that even.
Mm-hmm.
oh yeah,
Yeah, maybe we should, 'cause when do we
I
have
think
a-
so.
Oh, yeah, no later than June 16th.
So should we put that ad in now, and how long do we wanna run that? What size do we want?
I think that, I like that big ad, because it catches everybody's eye, you don't have to
Yeah.
look for it in the little.
Okay.
I know it's expensive, but
No, if you're, I'm
I
good
don't
if
know
that's,
why you couldn't take some money out of that. The advertising bid, I don't know.
okay, so do one of you wanna set that up with Darren to put that in the paper and let him know how long we wanna run it and the size of ad?
What we wanted to say.
Yeah,
Yeah, I can try and do what we did with it here.
okay. So it's
Great, hold on.
interesting
Put me in the sticker.
that they're asking us to sign. Who's, I know, but we don't wanna sign it, because don't you have to designate first? You don't sign it until you've designated your money.
Right.
So put a big post-it on it, you said?
I wonder if on the sign-in sheet,
I'll let you take care of the sign-in sheets. I've tried
I wonder
numerous
if we
times.
just had a call, do you wish to comment in public, do you wish to speak in public? And then we'd know how many people were, then we'd know, no? Or just so that you did have an idea of how much time.
But when we're doing just public comment, I don't wanna ever have the chaos that we had before with people saying whatever they wanted, coming back up, coming back up. I think for the professionalism of our meeting, we stick it like that is. Now, we're talking about something else when it's in a motion.
No,
Then,
yeah, no, I'm just saying, that. So the general public comment,
I know,
when people wanna come in and talk, they can only get, I'm not saying they get more than one time, I'm just
Yeah.
saying, but when people sign in, like come to the meeting, if there's a box that say, do you wish to speak at public comment? Then,
I'm
so
gonna let you take
if we
care
have
of it.
35
Yeah.
minutes, then we know that we don't.
I'm gonna let you do that, yeah.
We can offer a little more time rather than shut them off.
As
See
long
what
as it
happens.
isn't redundant.
It gets,
Right,
and then they
I mean,
get
If
themselves
they come up with
worked up.
with the same topic and we do this over and over and over, that's kind of pointless. I mean, I think we could sit here till November. give them the right
If it, but
signals.
what if it's a point that needs a response of some time, maybe we should put it on a list and then we can respond later at a future agenda about when will the potholes get fixed on Brewery
Sure.
Road. But yeah, if it's just kind of a complaint, we can't really say how we fix that necessarily. If it's just, Commissioner Simon, you gotta do this or do that, how do you,
You know, I understand wanting to be flexible, but there was a lot of chaos in here that I was left to deal with alone. And it was the berating, it was the ongoing redundancy of it. And I don't know if you've ever given a speech, but 3 minutes is a lot of time. And
Yes.
after that, you start repeating yourself, you get a loud voice, And I will let you take that part over. I don't need to be in charge of everything, so
No,
that's yours.
I was just wondering if we knew how many people were gonna comment,
Mhm.
then you could let somebody know. 3.5
So-
minutes.
so then you-
I
Yeah,
don't
I
know.
mean,
And then you
give
have to
them
let
all the same
everybody-
amount of time.
yeah. That's
Look
what the
at, look
law
at any of these
says.
other videos of the other counties, Roman, they all do this.
Do they?
Look at Missoula, they've got a pretty good video attached to the Missoulian
Okay.
page. That they did it, and they don't meet as often, well, I mean, I guess they do,
All right,
but,
well, there's 3 of it, I was,
And call Sanders County.
yeah,
They
they don't even allow them in public.
oh, they don't?
No, not anymore.
So,
Really?
Nope, he said when it got out of hand, there they stopped the public comment, they give them the comment between motions.
But the general, the
But
open
they-
general
yeah,
comment?
Open general comment.
so we did a lot of research on it.
Okay,
And we know that if you've ever given a speech,
Have.
3 minutes, okay, how long is your speech?
I don't know.
I'll tell you, 3 minutes is a long time. And again, based on the chaos that took place in here and the lack of professionalism, I believe that those behaviors dictate 3 minutes is good. And 1 time at the podium.
But Diane likes to talk a long time.
So we have to
I think
shorten
it
that.
helps me limit my talking too,
Okay,
which sometimes needs
All
to be
right.
done.
I brought it up, I understand, I hear the message.
You're a part of it too, though.
I know.
I'm happy to have you take over. Take it over.
No,
You burned out already?
well, there's,
Well, I thought that we came to that consensus.
did.
Basic,
Okay.
yeah, we did.
all right. All right,
And in fact, we already have the discussion also on administrative business being in the morning. But if you want to open that back up,
I was always a little bit thinking that it's kind of odd having everybody just look at us while we sign claims, but,
Well, okay, so Roman, the old way that we did it, we signed claims while they were talking to us, and you did it for years. And that was one of the major complaints that was tabled, was we weren't paying attention because we were trying to get this work done.
right.
And we could be in the same spot if you moved it to late afternoon, because, you know, what if we got something to do? What if we got something else going on, and then we don't have the stuff done?
Okay. All right.
and we did, you know, I think that it's good to always revisit, but we did talk about it and decide on that based on also, typically, your administrative business happens in the morning, and if you research with other counties, it's either on a different day completely or first thing in the morning. So we went with, it wasn't just willy-nilly.
Oh, I know, I thought we were giving it a try, and I got to thinking, maybe at the end, but get the meeting started right away and then do the menial stuff in the afternoon when there's not people wanting to talk or hear a meeting.
So can I comment?
Yeah, what
At this
kind of
point?
yeah, I don't.
I actually talked to somebody in Missoula County, and they have 3 to 4 meetings a week, or 3, let's see, yeah, 3 to 4 meetings a week. And they're all public, and one is a 4-hour meeting on Thursday afternoon, up to 4 hours.
Uh-huh.
And that's when they do their action items and their plat hearings
Uh-huh.
and that type of stuff. And I listened to one, it was done in an hour, it was great, or I watched one. And then there was another, the other 3, or up to 3, were for administrative stuff as needed, and they were for an hour each, up to an hour. And they were done on other days, although there was one on Thursday also. But I mean, the meetings were really concise, you know, and there
She's a
wasn't
parent as
a lot of
teachers.
uproar.
Oh,
I would imagine if they had a controversial subject for one of their meetings, the meeting would go a lot longer, which has happened. I just thought it was really interesting.
Yeah,
And the 4-hour, the meeting on Thursday, I mean, it was filmed, obviously,
yeah.
but there wasn't anything in between, it just went. So there wasn't any time for open,
We're shooting the breeze.
the breeze. I also saw Carol Brooker, you know her, right?
Oh, yeah,
On
yeah.
Sunday, yeah, I talked to her, she's so neat.
Was she, oh, up there at Paradise?
Yeah, I asked her if I could talk to her sometime, she said, yeah, let's go for lunch. So I'm gonna meet her for lunch sometime.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
kind of just.
She was a commissioner for a real long time.
She was, and she was a good one.
But I mean, what would you do? Could I do that right, you know, when I
I'm asking right now.
Oh, yeah, you should. Yeah. That's how we, I just, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. I just
I know, I'm
just
sorry.
need some
Yes, we are
clarification.
putting the
I'm gonna
mailing
write them
of the
down
agenda
right now.
item on there.
I
Yeah, Pat.
just want to get clarified.
Just wanted to, you know, what signed it.
Let me get ready for the
Oh, so I need, you want to
started to do that,
explain,
but I just-
I'm calling and asking about
Yeah, which way we're going today?
lunch. How many?
Well,
It's only like handstanding, that's just.
yeah.
Do you wanna, are we gonna have him come in here and ask him, or are we gonna do that?
I don't care how we do
Yep,
it.
oh, could you call Ryan and see if he's got a minute to come in here, I wanna ask him about serving lunch to the dispatch
Oh,
personnel.
okay.
I'm not sure how to do that with their shifts.
Mhm.
I don't have his phone.
No, we're
I
not.
didn't get that.
Oh, look, he's hiding mine.
You got it?
Last week.
I think I do, yeah. Did you say you have his number or
I don't know.
him?
I think I do, I've got text from him. Oh, yeah,
That's okay.
And everybody's like.
Hey, Mr. Funk, this is Roman. I was wondering, could you come in here real quick? We have a question for you about, the other commissioners want to try and provide some lunch for the employees and trying to figure out when would be the best time regarding their shift, et cetera. So, could you step on? Yeah. Okay. All right, yeah, the other two had questions about it, so I'm just a phone call guy. All right, thanks, bye.
On there.
Hi, Kathy.
How would your hospital work?
I couldn't go, but
Oh.
I should probably resign from that because I've had to miss 2,
Oh,
so I should.
You didn't miss much.
Oh,
oh,
okay.
you were there?
I'm a board member.
Yeah.
No, you're good.
Yes, I was there. It wasn't, yeah, there's not much going on.
It's fine, I'm just.
Howdy.
Hey, Sheriff.
How are you?
Good, how are you is the question.
We have just one dispatcher, and Jack's not in, so it's just me and dispatch and detention.
Well, how would we go about, we want it for your deputies also. And we thought pizza would be really nice, but how do we capture all your shifts?
Well, I'm the only one working today.
How do
I'll
you
hunt you
feel
for
about
pizza.
You mean what time of day? What time of day is
But we
overlap?
capture each shift, yeah.
Oh,
So
oh.
like maybe he has a 4 o'clock shift coming
I'm,
in at
I'm
10
the
o'clock.
only,
You're the only one here all day?
Till midnight.
Uh-huh.
Change at midnight.
Yeah, well, no, I'm on call after midnight.
We don't
So,
have anybody after
Joe,
midnight either.
Joe's around, cruising around, then
Joe
I
Bettis?
think he comes on at noon, but yeah, other than that, it's just me.
What about Ernie too? Did we ever call him?
Ernie, the thing with Ernie's eyes and stuff, he's not able to come.
Oh,
on
really?
patrol, yeah, medically.
Ryan, do you have could you think of a solution how we could do that? To give them thanks, to acknowledge them? And everybody likes lunch, that's why we thought.
I mean, maybe wait until the admin leaves stuff. I haven't been doing light duty stuff, I haven't got a hold of Jack, Jack will be in at some point today. But I would say maybe.
Because we want your dispatchers
One of them's
to.
been interviewed, and then he tell you, we're down to 2 dispatchers at this current time.
Hello?
I would say maybe wait for like a week and then.
Oh, I'm sorry, Joe, this is Dwayne.
All of our guys are back from admin leave, and Wednesday's probably the best day, they get, all of our employees work Wednesdays.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
so we don't have.
All right, thanks. But
What do you think of pizza? John?
How about what,
Thinking pizza, because I know
what,
dispatch loves pizza, I don't know about the deputies.
after the third, and I think the third's I don't have a phone Monday.
There's our calendar.
Anybody write
After
that
the
down?
third, so maybe the fifth of April.
I'm here again without a pen.
April 5, you want this? Tomorrow, as long as they
If
get
you did
back.
like April fifth at noon, pretty much hits all my guys. And it hits majority of dispatch and everything else. Even if you wanted to split it, like, do something at like noon and like half at noon and half at like 5.
And the thing about Keith is, if you put it in prison, you can use it later.
It would cover the majority of everybody.
And so, just to make sure that everyone get it,
Thank you.
Thank you. So on those shifts, like 3 pizzas per shift, or what do you have?
Well, we have, so on the fifth, we'll have one that works, dispatch that works 7 to 11.
So is there,
11 to 3, so that would cover 2 dispatchers, 3 detention officers.
so we,
And then
there's a
our
long
deputies
story
coming in.
behind that. One of the fire departments
So,
was
we'll have
trying
a
to
deputy
do that
come in
at the
and
same
we'll
time
have-
Kim was trying to do it.
Hertel
We even
and
set
Geo with
Title
Ethan
III
at
money
noon,
aside
and then we have somebody else coming on at
try to
6.
figure out how you could use some of
And
that
the rest of the
to
deputies
do part
work
of
for
that. And
6.
apparently he didn't ever finish it, whatever,
So a night
because the
time
money's
pizza.
still there.
So maybe good to kind of like.
So I'll check with them and see.
Detention, there'll be 1, 2, 3. Yeah, they kind of do the same thing with the deputies, but they work all day, so Sunday be 7 to 11, 11 to 3, 3 to 7, because they just spend 4 hours. These are 6 of them, it gets 24-hour coverage.
I met with him.
And you
That
can
works.
wait that long?
Yeah.
You can think of anything else?
Yeah, it's just
How are you?
nobody's in the office, I mean, other than.
No,
other
no,
than-
no, so
and
if
then
you
I
can
have-
think of anything else, I mean,
Did you have
Not-
any luck getting anybody out of Missoula?
So, I'll tell you guys a
Okay.
comment, we can get people out of Missoula for $1,000 a day per cop. I'm working with MSPOA, the Sheriff's Mutual Aid, which it doesn't cost us as much, I've got rooms,
I know,
people
and so
have
did
comped
yours.
out rooms for them,
I'm fine with
they're
mine too, but-
willing to comp meals for the deputies coming in. I'm gonna surrender my cop car next weekend, so we actually have our radio channel.
And maybe she's right.
So we'll be driving my cop car next weekend, but we only have 3 shifts covered out of 6.
Do we need to do anything on the insurance on that?
What you put, the way you put it,
I'll have to get with Darren, but
really kind of.
it's either that or they don't.
No, I'm not
Yeah,
arguing.
They don't, they don't have our radio channel
Yeah.
or anything like that.
I'm just
so that's
curious.
the tough part.
If someone else is driving them,
Yeah.
what needs to be done there? Might just be, you guys know it.
what was it? I'm sorry.
So he's surrendering his car.
It's possible.
Because we're gonna have
years of
deputies
private healthcare
filling in
to make 2 million
from the Sheriff's Office Association all over the state. So we
See,
have
I don't
one
think,
from-
I doubt that, but again, when somebody
one
else
from
pointed out.
Lincoln County who's gonna cover 2 shifts and then one from Flag County so far.
I wasn't
They
calling.
don't have our
it,
radio
I was down here
channels.
calculations.
And so to
Yeah,
communicate
I
with
don't
dispatch,
think,
we're gonna have to have them drive our cars.
Okay, and so the question was
I don't
insurance?
agree with her
Okay,
calculations.
so,
I'll send off a
She could
text
tell
real
me she
quick to
didn't
see
agree
if they
with
can
my
do that, because they're
I
operating
guess
under
what
our
my question was.
Yeah.
authority, so
Yeah,
they ought to
I-
be covered.
yeah, and that's what,
It's like everything.
So I can pretty much,
but he was really,
yeah.
yes, take care of
But
that.
I didn't think
So
it
he'll
was-
take care of that.
Because that's the best way to do it.
Yeah,
Yeah, the radios are different around
We
here.
just bought ARs because we don't have any, because we have to surrender to the state. They're involved.
All for active duty.
So,
there's your,
You don't know.
that goes on here, he's gonna put an ad
so
in
we
the
just,
paper.
so we just did that.
They're not just
New ARs.
As long as it's in the middle.
Was there a reason you didn't tell me no?
Yeah, that's all.
No, I'm not.
And so,
I'm asking you.
yeah, I mean, that's kind of.
I didn't think it.
So I also saw,
Okay,
I
tell me that.
don't know who
Tell
sent
me
it
that.
to me, that how you assisted with highway patrol.
Yeah, I worked till almost midnight last night, so that's when we lost our license.
Yeah,
So we're gonna put her on that.
It's not the job of dispatch.
Did you
It's
do
not the
EAP?
job
Did you make sure they all
job
had
of
EAP?
CFO or
The assistant and
I
the
checked
assistant?
into that, no, into investments.
Well, I'll make sure that he's, and then you should have posters in your office, both
Yep.
offices.
I think I posted
Yeah,
it last week.
it's always, yeah, it should always be in there and in dispatchers, but point it out and then I'll get with him
Well,
to do something.
It doesn't,
What about you?
I don't have time for Mary.
no, I haven't, just, we used to.
After tonight will be 80 hours.
And that's just being funny.
I think so far this year, I did almost 200 hours of overtime.
Yeah, so, but you might
I
take a
don't
minute
agree, I
just to
don't
look at that
disagree
EAP.
with that, and I don't disagree
Okay.
with a lot of things people say, it's just that there's.
Oh, thanks.
That's
I
what I'm
was
saying.
wondering.
Well,
So we're working through interviews and getting people through psych evals stuff.
I don't know if you're a Republican or not.
Days after the third to get these guys back if they come back.
Who's they? Do you know who I was referring to? I did,
Well, okay.
but I didn't say these guys, I said.
No, but again,
And your
I've
daughter.
told you many
Well,
times
I
in
didn't
the
say
past,
names.
if I was
No, I
in
did
a
not.
situation.
That's what I was referring to.
I would want to call.
Just
Well,
as
then last
pregnant.
night, that was the thing.
Of course, everybody was referring.
You know, we take took everybody's in
But-
cars, well, I get mine, you know, because it's
Sure
like
they
one
are,
for
they
one,
are.
you know.
And I'm fine with
Just in
that.
case, you never know, and then I'm like,
No.
working last night, I don't have any lawn guns, so I had to go get my lawn
That was
guns
part
back.
of the reason our county was having such financial problems.
but yeah, tomorrow-
Stacy, and I would have named her, because everybody knows.
Ethan and,
What were they supposed to do about it? We talked about it.
you know, but they'll be the only ones, so. I'm here, I'm the only
How
corner.
did they get rid of them?
Good.
And they could have done that, but there was only like,
So there you go, you asked me what to
He's super, super smart.
there was only like 5 months left of
Yeah.
their term.
Ethan's like.
And they could have done that, and they could, I suppose, and we could have done a recall, which there was not.
And did I
But
hear
it takes so long to do a recall, as you know. It would have taken
No, he
several
graduates
months,
in-
and then by then he was done. I think we all agree on that, you know?
And then I had him go to CIT training.
It was recognized.
Next week following that, he's gonna have to cover sheets.
But what could they have done? Even a lawsuit would have taken that long.
Take him out of the training, but he's back.
Well, I don't know about theirs, but I'll look into it.
He's back in town right
You
now.
send me the information.
Was he in town last week?
Now?
I had a copy
Did he, was he?
Yeah, send me the information.
Because I wondered if somebody used the wrong name, because I didn't know who it was.
I don't know where to look it up, Jen, and if you know about it, I'd be glad to see it.
On our side.
He was a
I'd
seasoned.
be very glad to see it.
He was a seasoned. as a-
Yeah, yeah. He's been,
By law,
I
they only
I gave them the admin leave thing and they said, hey, you know, we also
have.
have light duty admin duties available.
I don't even
Please
think they have to
come
work
in
that much.
if you feel. And so they've been coming in, and so it's been good. Jack's been coming in.
Okay, back then it did
Yeah,
not
yeah,
say that.
and I would
So
think
like,
with,
you know, whenever they're willing to, you know, wanting to, and so, starting next week, they get in office, 8 to 5, you know, just staying, just doing business.
Jack
Yeah,
So I don't know if that's true, but that's the impression I
Yeah.
got. So
Yeah.
I hope,
I'm sorry.
you know, I hope you see the same thing and then.
yeah, he's been ready, you know.
I know, but you
Everybody
need
else is doing good, I talked to Sandy again yesterday. Other than that, majority.
I feel like, I mean,
I just
your
found
daughter, I like your daughter.
yesterday, so.
Yes.
No, and that's what I said
That
too.
really stops.
Because she actually hired,
Well, never-
overhired people like
But
that.
here's an opportunity
Maybe
to
they
say,
need 'em.
never ever
Yeah,
think about what
yeah,
we don't
yeah.
value.
But what I was saying, there was more to
And
what
I
was
told
happening.
you,
It wasn't just
again,
investments that
Well, I'm
was
ever
going
in a
on.
situation.
You guys agree with that?
Could you send follow?
Yeah.
Because I do believe.
But it had, they are not over,
That's good.
I'm gonna go try to take my medication.
Yes.
They are not.
So we got this, know that it's coming.
And then 10:05 is public comment.
Yes.
Okay, I'll get,
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna try to go take my stuff.
You're gonna try to.
So we don't think do lunch or do the lunch or something.
I would wait till the fifth,
Everybody's
honestly, so everybody's back, so everybody feels that
They
they're.
can approve raises and
Alright.
positions, but I don't think they
Yeah,
can.
we don't wanna miss
That's
anything.
kind of what I'm
Do, and that's
trying,
what part
we're
of
trying
what
to
we're
wrangle
saying
up
now with the smoking issue.
like after action thing for everybody.
The community's been really good with reaching, we've got like tons of food. So, First American Title will applying that.
You know, and some of the people say that that's good and some say it's bad right
Cheeseman's
here.
made like 20,000 dozen cookies.
Oh, good.
It'll look like a cookie or cookies.
Gonna have to get
You're
it
the
done.
cookie eater though,
Yeah.
aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Well,
think,
with the.
I think if you read the statute, it's,
oh, yeah,
they are not
I know,
elected
that's a
officials.
bad, yeah.
However, they can
Yeah.
affect what other employees are doing.
Well,
Yeah, I would say that's probably all of the employees should be back around.
You can.
And then,
You can file one against me if you want.
kind of our patio rules, so they have coverage to get her going, and then she'll be up to speed.
So what's the alternative?
She'll be up to speed.
I don't know, those are things to work
She'll
on.
be able to speed to
And I
cover
agree,
shifts
you
and
need to work on.
it's, you know that we're doing that,
it's
we're
just-
not an in-house transfer. Because she
I know
gave
that.
a resignation, so we don't have to, we don't have to wait for any paperwork
I know
for
that.
in-house transfer.
No, William, I
But
respect William.
there will be
I work with
a
him
little
lot.
bit of
I work with him on
paperwork because of
resources.
him.
Yeah, and I ran up and
Our
talked to her.
coalition was the one that
Okay,
suggested.
but, so that's how we're working that, there's no in-house transfer.
So we're good to go on
We're
that.
good to go, yeah, but we'll, you know, there's a couple of things, wages and Maple.
I know they have money now.
Change and stuff, but Darren should be with you and get that information, but just so you know that that's how we're doing it.
Well, that
No
did turn out.
priorities, we are.
I know
Yeah,
Jack.
I know, I
We are
need
sometimes.
one, and I'll take care of it.
No,
You know, I'm not.
I don't need one. What's important to me is that you know is
You said
that
I
we
was
are
uninformed,
on board,
you know, and those are
and I
things
don't
that,
ever doubt that.
because you and I have known each other, and so
I reached,
I have attended a
I
lot
reached
more
out
of these
to
meetings.
Mitch Young with.
And I have not
Mackenzie
always
has
agreed.
been
Yes, really.
unresponsive to me as of yesterday.
I was very
We've
active
tried
in
all day.
I don't think she was in on
Yeah, she was in a meeting yesterday. Dan O'Malley's been super amazing, so that guy.
No, I think we just need to
was
talk
singing
things out.
all day yesterday.
I
I
believe,
talked to
because I've
Ray
always
half
liked
the night
you,
before,
like a
so
brother.
when I told him,
I mean, our,
I
you
said,
know, we
you
love
deserve a
each
gold
other.
star for like, just
And Kathy.
Putting up.
kind of like listening to my band.
I love Tom.
But hopefully I can get some stuff from.
You know,
Dan's
it just really, I
Well,
don't
at least
know.
my side of everything.
And the other thing is you copied it to me.
So, and it sounds like Lynette
Yes, we
is
did.
possibly back today, so hopefully I have answers and stuff today. So
Here or just,
I think
I
he's
did.
back from
I
vacation.
did. I didn't
Working on it.
personally,
Don't, make sure that you read your pictures
reread that.
when you need something or your people need something.
And my pictures.
I mean,
So that
That's what made me sad.
you
I
said
hate
you're
pictures.
trying to put something together like a Susan deal.
And that's what made me really sad.
oh, so, there's this, no, so we have, so they're putting together something tonight at 5 here. But none of my guys are gonna be here because they haven't
I
been
just
here.
wanted to talk about why you,
So I don't wanna like muddy the waters.
Right.
And so we're gonna do something with
all I did was
with her
say I didn't,
next week.
I doubted it.
So for the
Made
critical
that much
incident
money,
debrief
unless
for
it's
all
no
the
high,
cops will be next
risk
week.
stuff.
Is that
which we
that
never do.
AR or whatever Amy called it that she's
I mean,
having? Because that's what we're gonna.
She's having the sizzle thing tonight
Oh, she's
here.
having one
My
tonight.
money.
critical incident stress.
Yeah, but she had
Yeah.
something that she
2
said
million
that
on
we
5.5
should attend
million.
also coming up. It was a checklist of, here's what we did, and
I
then
do
she's gonna ask
somewhat.
all of
Oh,
us.
like an after action?
Yeah.
Yeah, after,
okay.
yeah, I wanna make sure that we don't miss that.
Yeah,
So
so,
tonight you don't.
so I'm
it's
gonna
not-
I'm gonna be here for it tonight.
Sometimes.
None of my guys are gonna be here and none of the officers involved are gonna be here because they haven't gone through.
Okay, so regardless, do you want one of us there?
I don't think, well, technically with the after, if it's an after action thing, you can be there,
Yes.
but you can't be there for the.
Okay.
critical
This
Just
is
incident.
just the immediate impact of folks that
Yep.
were
Yep.
Okay,
potentially traumatized.
Yep.
just checking to make sure that we don't
Yeah,
ever
because
have
what they do is they'll
incident.
go around and say, were you involved, and if you go no, they're like,
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
good,
say this
good.
ship you out.
And that's the
So-
way it should be.
Yeah,
Yep, and now we know.
so I'm gonna be there just for support wise and, you know, I think he already knows that none of our guys are gonna be here, so. But yeah, that's about it.
Okay, and I have, somewhere in my book, I wrote down what Amy said for that AR.
Okay. Yeah, and I think I'm meeting with the fire chiefs after, for lunch, for like an after action thing for.
Jerry Doctor?
Fire chiefs, yeah. Jerry, Dr. Frank, by Scott. Alrighty, I'll be back in 20.
I have seen figures.
Oh, that's right. Well, I think that's doesn't matter to me.
Sooner the better? So do, okay, so I'm gonna give you a note on top of
I
that one.
agree about.
For Darren to
5 years.
coordinate that
I
with-
agree about the interest rates, because the interest rates have just gone
How
up
come I
recently,
listen
within the last, I'll say year, but it hasn't been.
I know, I know. And you didn't have to, but,
No, that's
All
okay,
his
you
turn.
tell me and I'll delegate it.
there you go, now you're learning.
So it's Amy and Frank McGee.
And Jerry.
Oh, okay. Susan, like a SCH,
So where could they have gotten?
Amy.
In 5 years ago.
McGee and Frank Doctor.
Okay, okay, so 1.8. So yeah, the interest rate is
Okay,
3.0.
and he
I
can
would
see
say
me and if you'll put that on your paper.
Okay.
And I don't know what this is.
I didn't okay.
It was in my stuff. I don't know what it is.
Oh, from Willie,
Oh.
or from everyone.
Okay, looks like we need to,
Program, well, it's two programs director.
I'm not the program director, I don't know. So this is Lolo. And I don't know what this is. I'm sorry.
What?
Trail West.
So this would be a letter from Willie, right? Willie would have written this.
No, I just didn't,
4 years of your work was started.
I wasn't blaming you, I was just asking.
Of 19, huh?
I said, you can sign
Well,
that.
why didn't he? Yeah, I mean, how could I,
Yeah,
let me rephrase.
and so
it.
what is that, so I can record that?
It is called.
I don't know how to rephrase it. And I respect, no, that's fine. Okay, thank you for explaining that. Okay. So yesterday, I was in.
Oh, okay, he's got that signed by
Which is
Dwayne.
public, and I'm on the board.
Okay, and this.
You're right, I don't have anything to do with investments, but they did
Look
talk
what
about
he's doing,
investments
good
yesterday.
deal.
And they said
No
they
longer
got
vision
3.5
good for
million.
you, Darren.
It's not in CDs right now, because they wanna keep that
Service
solvent,
purpose,
because
no, we're not
what's
signing
happened
this. He gave us
since
this to
COVID, when we
sign.
got all that money, it's kinda
That's
gradually
gonna
gone down,
go.
and they wanna make sure that trend doesn't.
Newspaper ad.
And then they, you know, hopefully will invest that, and they're not getting bad interest right now in the bank either, so. So, you know, I do understand a little bit, and I'm willing to learn, but I didn't think your,
Okay,
was
there you go.
sincere,
Uh,
the way you wrote it.
so that goes to Darren to do whatever.
But then you.
I'm gonna go ahead and sign this,
Went on to
Lolo
say that
letter.
I was,
Why
I
you
have to
need
read
some?
it, but I guess it was part of it.
Huh?
Is that?
Okay.
Right.
I'll tell you what.
It's public anyway.
Yeah,
That was the
But
response
that's how
we
much
filed
you make money
yesterday.
over.
get past that.
That's how much you increase the money, or would have.
That was the
I'm
county
with you.
response we filed.
You heard what I told him.
But I also
Yep,
believe
yep, I
that there are
appreciate it.
certain,
Okay.
investments.
Now,
Anyway, I gave you a copy of what they found, so it gets floating around. I was here
That-
earlier this morning, but this will be
So I'm
interesting.
wondering what.
Okay,
And that is public, that's fine.
that happens today.
It's in, we filed it last night at 6.
Oh, do you meet with Banana today?
No, he's on the airplane right now, headed back to Hawaii.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought there was something today.
Yeah, but there should have been, but there isn't. But if you look at the last page, we just asked for a simple thing.
Okay,
And
all
so
right,
it's interesting.
all right, thanks.
Yeah, it's worth the read, trust me.
All right.
So, I did.
Too much fun.
Right.
If I went-
No, we all had to sign this. When I responded to, no, I told them
56.
I need somebody.
No, I understand
I
that.
said,
It should have been,
so,
so I agree with
but
that.
really,
I would just agree with you.
you're gonna, I just want to do that.
And I signed up for you guys before you were.
We
And
need
then I
people that already know.
Thank you, Carol.
Darren and stuff.
I mean, that know
That's
investment.
probably still.
That
You
can
probably did.
give some input. Hey, do they still have that, consultant at the hospital?
They actually trained,
Laurel.
Laurel and Stacy. And they did a good job too. I think Laurel and Stacy did a great job. I think they have them on just a little bit, just in case something comes up, but, you know, they also offered Laurel to go to college in her contract as an administrator.
It's not their business.
But she chose to be trained by those guys instead, so that saved her.
Yeah, he was getting like $230 a year, which was huge.
Yeah, CEOs get a lot of money.
Well, he was a consultant. For 2 or 3 years.
I don't think it
You
was
drive
that
a long
long.
way for it.
I don't know, I have to check, I don't remember. Time goes so fast.
And he ran out as a consultant.
At this point. You know, and I think we can agree on those things. You know, it's just, I think by talking, and I think you lived here forever. I was born and raised here. Kathy's lived here a long time, longer than we care to admit. But, you know, and I think we all want what's best for our county.
That's exactly.
And as far as Willie goes, let's start it out with good intentions, and I don't know what happened. But I want Willie to be on too, obviously.
Well, that again is the benefit of a county of force plan issue.
Oh, yeah.
Because nobody here in this county understands what this is. And he's been involved for years in any of this.
That's why we all pulled together on the coalition.
Yeah, Lake County, Lincoln County, or County, all of guys were understanding it.
So originally, I think it was 60,000 for contracted labor, and without any benefits, obviously. And I don't know what happened.
But they can't do it.
I don't know, you know, I mean, that's the money that was available, according to Emily, and that was okay with Willie, and that's what was advertised at.
I don't think that's the problem. The problem is just getting a contractor. And contractors is right. And voting.
I know, it's really unfortunate,
Well.
and especially right now with, or compromise. But, you know, with the forest plan, the Lolo forest plan coming up, that's really important. And Willie's been going to those meetings, as have I, but I missed the last one because I can remember it. And I've sat with Willie during these meetings, and I really respect him.
Getting all
I
those
enjoy
figured
it.
out, Commissioner Simons?
I think so.
And he's funny.
Pretty
He's
run of the
great.
mill.
Yeah, he's got a lot of knowledge.
So I said to
He's
him,
getting pretty frustrated. You imagine putting his business about, you know, drive his own vehicle because he meetings and.
so the year hasn't started running yet, it's a year contract. So until it starts getting paid, it hasn't started running yet, so. Oh, that's not a plea, but,
Right.
yeah. So I said to him the other night when we were at the forest event, what was it? I guess it was the town meeting, is what it was, and we were sitting at the same table, we were talking about what we'd like to see, you know, them work on and focus on, and talking about timber sales and stuff. At the very end, I said, yeah, unless we're talking about the spotted owl. Willie says, let me take you outside about this. We don't, except Woodsy disappeared. And I'm wondering if it's because of that.
That's a portion.
Yeah. Yeah, he's no longer around.
Smelled like spring this morning. Yeah, a little spring. Yeah, it snowed hard too.
So anyway,
Actually smelled.
that's mine that you used to.
Yeah, we can just do the process.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Just a little. It would be nice to see the water go in instead of down.
Right, yeah. That'd be nice.
That would be good.
So,
When we go Tuesday, we'll
Yeah.
just do the time card.
just, supervisor signed that.
This week, to do any of that.
So do you need to find more information?
Yeah.
Copy of the rest of the map, and that's right there, comes across. I gave a copy to,
I don't see any, anything just kind of stuck in here.
and the,
Oh, it was with these, it was with these time cards. The Nick, is that right?
Yeah, is it cited or listed on there? On there as course. Howdy.
Good morning, how you doing?
Good, good.
No, I mean, it's supervisor
I
signed
think it's
time
in
card.
3 pieces.
No, this was stuck in.
I see that one.
This way.
Yeah, I get, well, he did sign, he did note it on the bottom, so I guess.
We have to take them together.
Yeah, if you're gonna include them, they're open out, it's probably longer to do that. Oh, I know. Through here, the podium probably would be the length of the whole thing, I would guess.
So take pictures of it, and we'll print them, and
I just
put it all
take it.
together in a big.
No, actually, what I do is not that, what I do is I have these copies. If you don't put them in that sticky paper, the paper lasts 25 years, 22 years,
Unless you put them in a,
even then the paper doesn't last.
doesn't it?
You know, because the paper's white and acid. And so what happens is you lose the ability to hold something. So it will keep water, but it falls apart, it falls into chips.
I know, we're having that.
Is Ron here?
No, he's waxing
Two races back to back, so.
Yeah, they're pretty easy.
Are you still in the same place? So what you do is if you want to preserve so the archive we also have
Oh, yeah, yeah. Hello.
I'll read.
Okay, well, good luck with mine and let me
Oh, yeah, I just didn't know if
Since before COVID, I stayed back.
Yeah.
She's kind of sick. So it's all good.
They didn't sign that one. Pretty good, pretty good letter.
How you doing?
Are you starting at 5 after, or?
Yeah, actually. Maybe I will. Fred's back there, 40 feet from the house. Big black one, no Brady's Fred. How about you?
Yeah, a month ago I had a big white one. And, it was 50 feet from the house, and the dog, and I thought one dog would jump. When I stepped outside with a light, then the dog would jump or would get closer to the door. So I got the light, so it was a big old lantern light. Oh my gosh. And then tried to go through it. By the time I came back out, there was another 50 yards away. I pulled, I did, because I really wasn't scared, but it shot too low. I could see where his legs were standing broadside, and I could see the stream of the bullet. But it wasn't me.
Well, that's great. No, I bet it does. Holy cow.
Been nice one, but stuff.
And it was very large.
Well, you do have filters.
Yeah, we have some really good gals.
Well, you got pretty
And they do
Yeah, bigger than Rottweiler.
Oh, yeah.
70s.
And then he jumped across a little ditch creek and just, man, jumped like an antelope.
Sometimes we do.
You can see the snow, it was fresh snow where it was, and he left it and he landed.
Well, my neighbor called me as soon as it happened, he said, I don't know what to do, should I shoot it? I said, well, that's what you feel second guess. He said, well, I'll shoot it, you can shoot it, especially when they have those guys. That's right, he's got 2 bucks too, and they said he just brought 2 bucks in.
Busy during retirement.
Smelling around, where they just put out and all this stuff, you know. We're going, yeah, you should have shot it. And I said, so we did the one numbers to that.
Okay.
People know that. We gave them all the numbers, and I said, if you're worried about the call, you know, that's what happened, but I haven't seen any person.
Yeah.
But if I do, I'll take care of that.
Yeah, you did work upon it.
Yeah, I did that. I've done that before.
On that public comment, I signed the wrong form, I just thought it was there, so should I just scratch my name out on public comment? I didn't know, oh, you're still here for public? Yeah, yeah, but that's, yeah, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Told my wife not to eat them, always left
I loved your post this morning. It's not a problem, it's a
That's right.
On everything.
Yes, she's gonna get it.
I just think that's the other factor. Yeah. Oh, I just mean, you like the curling back.
Send us some.
She wasn't. I mean, you were just I guess we was talking
So, I talked
I do want to make sure I'm not
well, that was,
so I told her things that she would need when it comes to science, and I just wanted her to
other
be looking at the paper.
And that wasn't, I just think we got to take care of it's true that time,
There is stuff they need. I have to
and that's
check
okay,
my
you know, I just wish
she needed, because I can't remember.
I just wish that.
Oh, yes,
And I'd be willing to work by now. Same, exactly.
really?
Yeah, same. And I think and I've suggested that. I haven't really pursued it. A strong interest. I was administrator of my dad's estate.
But then you couldn't figure out how to.
I asked. I was told. So I don't know how to. No, I was told that there was none. I did, but nobody was there that answered my question. So yes, I did. And I'll go back. Yeah, no kidding, no kidding. But at the time, when I opened my personal account, I asked about $1,000, mine was no reason. And they, you know, they just said that there really wasn't that much interest.
According to Verizon, it's 10:05. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Before we start public comment, I do have just a couple of quick comments today. One is the most important, and that is our thank you to Ryan Funk and his office. We recognize there was a huge disconnect. We take responsibility for that, and we are moving forward with good faith effort that we will all be able to work together and we'll work on our communication tree. So we're very appreciative to what our sheriff and his office did for us. Thank you very much. Another thing I want to just give you a quick update on is the resolution. We have struggled really hard and long on the resolution, and the determination we're coming back to is to stick with the resolution that we have, and it is out here for you. I will comment, though, that I am seeking clarification on number 5 of the resolution. I don't know if you get a chance to look that over, maybe you'll see what I mean, or maybe I'm just not getting it, but it needs clarified. So that's, just want you to know it's out there for everyone to look at, and I don't think, we don't need a motion or anything because we already have this resolution. That's been a long, hard journey. We're done with it, hopefully. I also want to let you all know that I will be making a change to February 24th minutes. It's a simple line I need to add to those minutes. We had a closed session, and I did not indicate on those minutes who would be in attendance at that closed session. So I will be making that change. Now, as we enter into public comment, I just want to remind everyone, we need to be courteous to each other. We need to understand this is not a question and answer time. It's not a time for debate. And we all are looking forward to hearing what you have to say, but we would appreciate if all of us, again, remain respectful to each other. You will have 3 minutes at the podium, and we'll go ahead and get started.
I guess I'll get the party started. All right, everybody knows Sheriff Ryan Funk. Here, I'll just stand over here. And I'm loud enough. So ultimately, I want to publicly apologize to Dwayne and Dawn for my outburst on Wednesday. It was uncalled for, and it won't happen again. But that being said, currently I'm working with MSPOA, Montana State Peace Officers Association, and the Sheriff's Mutual Aid, and getting patrol shifts covered for next week. For the weekend, we have 3 shifts that are currently filled and 3 that are hopefully gonna be filled by next weekend. Since Saturday, worked 63 hours. By the end of tonight, I'll have 79 hours in, since our officer-involved shooting. Currently, we're short in dispatch, due to the officer-involved shooting and, dispatch individuals on administrative leave for their health and well-being. So, we're getting through it. It's been a tough week.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Thank you, Ryan.
Hi, my name, I hope I stick with this 2 minutes, I thought it was 5. My name is Pam Reed and I live at Sear in Alberton. Roman Zalawi is my county commissioner. I've owned land at Sear since the late 90s. We moved into the home my husband Paul built in May of 2000. I have served on the Mineral County Planning Board and was elected to the Local Government Review Committee in the early 2000s. which was mandated by law to be created. I'm explaining this to you so you know that I am familiar with working within the constraints of a small county with limited staff and a small budget. I'm here today for 2 reasons. The first is to talk about my county commissioner, Roman Zalawi. I'm aware of the alleged inappropriate private conversation between Commissioner Simons and Roman. As a woman and a member of this county, I was concerned about it for many reasons. I contacted Roman and asked him some very pointed questions. Roman explained the details of the conversation, the recording of it by members of the audience, and the circumstances of the stopping of the recording at the table. Anyone who knows me knows that I am very direct, excuse me, and don't have a problem calling a spade a spade. Roman knows this very well. After my conversation with him, I was satisfied that Roman did not have any ill intent with the conversation, and I certainly don't believe he should be expected to step down from his position because of an offensive private conversation. God forbid I be held in contempt for some of my offensive private conversations filled with swear words. Roman has lived in Mineral County most of his life, I think. I know his wife, his mother, his kids. Roman is a good man. He has a lot of knowledge about this county that helps get important issues accomplished. Roman, however, no offense, is not a businessman. I believe this is his first experience in an elected capacity. I believe I even gave Roman my copy of Robert's Rules to help him begin his new journey as county commissioner. That being said, Roman inherited the procedures for public meetings from his predecessors, Judy Stang, B.J. McComb, and James Warnken. And just to put things in perspective for those who may be new to the area, when I was on the planning board, the county regulations were 20 years behind the Montana Code, state law. I helped the then county planner, Tim Reed, no relation, put forth a rulemaking file to create regulations required by current state law. If this had not been done, there would not have been any teeth.
I'm sorry, Dean.
Do you want me to go back down and come back up? I'm not done.
I understand that you're not done, and I'm sorry that we do have the 3-minute time limit.
So if there's time remaining in the 35, may I come back?
Could we, I'll have to, we do have a.
I understand, I'm not trying to be
Yeah.
obstinate.
I know that you're not, and you have wonderful things to say, but I do need to be fair.
I get that, but
Thank you.
may I have another opportunity if time allows?
I'll get back to you.
Thank you.
guys might shoot me for this suggestion, oops, but am I allowed to cede my time to Pam Reed?
Oh, I'm. I know that while it's difficult, I know we all understand the importance of staying consistent. And at this time, given the chaos that we have experienced in here and the total unprofessional way we have conducted meetings, I do have to stick to the 3-minute time limit.
All I wanted to say is in public, I'm Kathy Burley, I'm in Romans District, Outer Courts, and I really want to thank Sheriff Funk and his crew that helped take care of the situation down in St. Regis. All the people that came in from out of town to help Monroe County, they need a big thank you as well. We went to the debriefing and it was very emotional, and those guys, Ryan got up and he was so hurtful with what he had to say. It was very moving. And I just think, publicly, I just wanted to say thank you to law enforcement. And Amy Roman did a great job providing services for people that needed help, mentally, physically, whatever they needed. And Mrs. McGuffey did a great job. She needs to be recognized. And so I'm just saying thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, my name is Diane McGowan, and I hope this is acceptable. I would like to read the rest of Pam Reed's statement, if that's all right, because I think that she has something to say. So I'll read it quickly, so I won't run out of time. And just to put things in perspective, for those of you who may be new to the area, when I was on the planning board, the county regulations were 20 years behind the Montana Code, state law. I helped the then county planner, Tim Reed, no relation, put forth a rulemaking file to create regulations required by state law. If this had not been done, there would not have been any teeth to any decision voted on by either the planning board or county commissioners for every single subdivision application put forth by developers. What that means is developers could sue the county if they didn't like any restrictions imposed on them, removing any public protections the county had over proposed subdivisions. I was also part of the group of people who helped develop the first ever growth policy for the county that was mandated by law. I am explaining all of this because I have heard the concerns expressed about public meetings and the public's right to know. I have watched some of the recent recordings of the meetings, which is the second reason I am here today. I believe these concerns are legitimate, as it is the concern about returning to investments and the potential need for mold remediation. I agree that there continues to be room for improvement in these areas. I am also aware of the limited resources the commissioners have budgeted and available to get a lot of these processes, etc., accomplished. But I believe the county has made improvements over the past 23 years. And I believe Roman has brought forth positive input and knowledge, which has helped make important improvements since he was elected. I also want to point out the difficulty for a 3-member commission to always follow the Open Public Meetings Act. Technically, they have a quorum when 2 or more are in one room. Think about that challenge. Do they need to notice when 2 of them have lunch? Also, it is my understanding that the county commissioners do not have any direct authority over any of the elected officials within the county, sheriff, treasurer, clerk, etc. The only hammer they have, so to speak, is their budget. So if one is incompetent, they can't write them up or fire them. They are elected because the public deems them qualified. Am I running out of time? It is expected that a small county like Mineral conduct business the same way a county the size of Missoula does. I would expect a tax increase to provide the staff to do so. I don't think a tax increase would go over well by a majority of the Mineral County residents. In summary, I would hope that the commissioners know they can do a better job. We can all do better at our jobs or just be better people. I would also hope that the public will, in a positive and productive manner, support and assist them to do so. That's what I did when the regulations were out of date.
Thank you.
Yes, I think that was very nice.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I was gonna leave a copy in case it'll help with your minutes.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Anna Marie White, and first of all, I'm so pleased to hear about our resolution staying intact for the most part. Will we have an opportunity to give you public or any written comment as to number 5? Because I too have some confusion and some concerns about that. So is that open to us for the next week or so?
I would say go ahead and write to us, what is your confusion?
Okay.
And that's all I'll ask.
Okay, good. Okay, and then I just want to touch on something that I've talked about the last few meetings that we have been, or I have been at, and that is miking up the table. Because with the video recording, the audio is really, really difficult. And I think I said this before, I share that with some neighbors and we're just having a really difficult time. So I just want to ask for your consideration to mic up the table similar to miking up the podium for consideration. Perhaps it does need to be an agenda item with an action item attached or action attached to it. But I'm just wanting to throw it out there to you guys again. And then you may have each received from Mr. Verley the Missoula County video audio that is online and how it is that they conduct their live streaming and their taping. I know I'm not allowed to ask questions, but did you happen to get that and get a chance to see that? I see Dwayne nodding yes. So I'm hoping that you will consider something like that for Mineral County. It's extremely effective, it's super clear, it's just such an amazing way to get information out to the public. The public can participate. It's forever on the website so people can refer to it. Ravalli County also does an excellent job, so I will forward that information to you. But again, I just want to state how important it is for me and those that cannot attend that there be some live streaming or to take the responsibility off of a citizen, place it on you as our commissioners to get that out to the public. And is my time almost up? Because I feel
Probably. It's 33 seconds.
33 seconds. So I do want to also, I took that to the folks that I had in proxy asked about translation into Spanish. They would like for that to be reconsidered. Otherwise, they're not able to vote, and they are registered voters. So just want to put that in there one more time. I know the answer was kind of a flat no, but just for your reconsideration as we move forward, and there's an opportunity so that they're not excluded. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Ken Burley, and I'd like to just let the commissioners know that I concur with Anna Marie that we really do need to get the recording, and I support that. And I've provided my mic and my amplifier here, which goes along with my guitar. And in the event George Strait calls and asks me to start out his show, I may need that back. So I would support the commission actually getting some microphones for sure, and also recording this meeting. Thank you.
I know you're not supposed to comment, but Kathy, could you call me if he goes with George Street? I'd like to be invited. I'll be fainted dead if he does.
Some of these comments probably warrant maybe putting, follow-up business later to maybe make a decision. The right thing. Didn't somebody say that? We can, so when people comment, yeah. Okay, I'm just saying that we don't want to forget
No,
the
I didn't say
suggestions,
that.
and readdress them on a future
Yeah,
agenda.
that'll be.
Okay.
Hi, Julie Miller. I did bring up this morning during your administrative session, and I'd like the public to know that you're giving us the minutes that you're going to approve, but you're not giving us an opportunity to either correct or identify any inaccuracies. And the change done to the February 24th minutes, I had asked for 3 weeks in a row before you guys seemed to understand what it was I was asking. So I'm asking once again, and this would be the third time, at least on public comment and at least one time on the agenda, that I'm asking you to have an agenda that is transparent for the public. You both had meetings this week. What's that? The weed board or whatever, and the hospital board. You both had meetings that you were in. When do we get to hear what was the fruit of those meetings that you're required to be part of? So I'm again asking for an agenda that is more transparent to the public information that we would like to know and that we have the right to know. The minutes from the health department, or the sanitation health department that cost po' boys their license. The public wants to know about that, and you've not brought those forward. It was done during our public meeting in this room, and so those minutes should be made available by you to the public. We shouldn't have to chase them down. Same thing with LEPC. You've made them available before. Please continue to do so. This is part of the transparency and why you attend these boards, because you're representing us. Can you please let us know the information you're getting and any decisions that are being made that will affect the public? Again, an agenda that reflects the transparency that the public expects from you is all we're asking. Thank you.
Thank you. Mary Jo, are you looking for a TV Connect? Yep, you can just go ahead and sit down there and. Good luck.
I think it's the gray one.
It's the gray one right below
The
it.
gray to the left there that's unplugged.
She needs a blue.
The end of it's over there. The end of it's a little farther out.
Oh,
I think.
here, Mary Jo, it's a blue.
Oh, is it blue?
Well,
It's
see, there's a
blue.
blue one that's attached to your.
The blue one,
We'll get you to the,
That one?
it's, yeah, it's that one right there. That's not blue? That's blue.
Well, this is blue. I was
Yeah.
looking at
Oh,
the
I
blue part
was-
down there.
Sorry.
it's HDMI.
So, Dora, it's, do I need to go there to talk, or can I talk to you?
Oh, no, because you have your, I don't know, unless you want us to push the button.
No, here, she.
No, it would be better, Mary Jo, because then
Okay,
everyone can.
that's fine, that's fine. Just whenever, tell me when.
Yeah, I'll tell you when we have a couple of minutes left before public comment ends.
Cute shoes. My dad was doing double tapes.
They wanted to see the microphone.
How's it going?
Hey.
Good, good. This is my boyfriend Gage.
Hi. Good to meet you.
Yeah, sorry we didn't come early enough. We didn't come down early enough this say hi, so every time we left.
Are you
Really?
excited?
Yeah, I know. No, I'm not. Good to see it's not going on the stage.
Heard a little bit about you.
It works.
Wait. So this stuff is for Darren. Oh, yeah. This? Okay. At long last, it's 10:35, and Mary Jo, I know how happy you are to be up and presenting.
Okay. Good morning. My name is Mary Jo Berry, and I'm the secretary for the Mineral County Fair Board. I'm going to start off with just a really short PowerPoint, and there's just a few photos, and I'll go through them real quick because I know that some people need to get out of here. And I need to not be doing this. So. Okay, so the first photo that you see up there, this is inside the fair building. This is when you go back towards the women's bathroom and you look up towards this, towards the ceiling. That's a hole, a gap about probably that wide. It's not bringing any cold air in. There's plexiglass on the outside, but it needs to be repaired. This is just another photo of that part of the building. We had a furnace in the 4-H building for years, and when I was on the fair board before, and after I was gone, they decided to take it out. And so this is above, in the kitchen, above where the refrigerator sits. So it's between the ceiling and this wall thing.
Mary Jo, could I just ask you a question right there for anybody who is unaware? Now, you said first fair building and then 4-H building.
Well, 4-H building, that's what it is.
Okay, so
Yeah.
this is the Quonset hut?
This is the Quonset.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank
So,
you.
this is in the kitchen, and what you just saw is part of that tube thing that, is that we have, we've had a couple people come in and give us some estimates, and we just have not had the money to take care of it. This is ceiling. Ken goes in and repairs what he can and replaces and does whatever, but the ceiling's been wet. We've had to replace panels. Another part of our ceiling. When that ceiling gets wet, our floor, we have that nice wooden floor. If you guys have been in our 4-H building, we've got a beautiful floor. Anyway, we're trying to, keep that so it doesn't have to be replaced. That there is where the furnace was, and that's what it looks like. This is our kitchen. Kind of sad. You can see our cupboards we just need a whole new kitchen. Yeah, and that's just another part of our kitchen that what we have to work with. This is a hole between the women and the boys' bathroom. You can't see anything. You can climb up there and look, and you can't see what's going on the other side, but it's just a hole. And there's our toilets, which are for little people. Yeah, you have to be pretty short to. This is our vendor booth. This is what some of our vendors have to work with every year. I don't know how long that flooring has been on those booths. This is another picture of our one of the vendor booths. That's the sink that they use, and then this next one anything that water or whatever drops into that, it's just a little hole in the cement. So this is the outside of our buildings. This is just rot. Another of just rot. This is the roof of the vendor booths. I was hoping Ken would be here and could tell, why the plastic, unless it must be leaking. This is the building between the Quonset hut and the vendor booths. And you can see the paint is chipping and the wood is rotted. The next one that you see, this is our fair building. I don't know if that's birds or exactly what is going on, but we've got holes all over the building. And this is just the outside of the buildings, paint, rot, whatever. Okay, so the Mineral County Fair Board understands the Mineral County Commissioner's challenge to adequately and fairly allocate limited local tax dollars when setting the budget for Mineral County. We know that our fair and our fairgrounds cannot be on the top of the priority list for funding when competing with other entities such as the schools, law enforcement, fire department, hospital, ambulances, roads, and bridges. However, the Mineral County Fair is an economic engine in our county. The first week in August brings hundreds of thousands of dollars to our area businesses and our 4-H program annually. It provides valuable opportunities for our local citizens and area youth. And it's a wonderful incentive to draw new and returning folks to our area who buy land and build homes, start businesses, educate their children, and hard-earned money with area retailers while recreating. Improving our small fairgrounds by making much-needed repairs to our post-World War II aging facility, adding additional family-friendly attractions for all ages to enjoy could increase the revenue of our fair. The Mineral County Fair Board, our last chair, Carol Johnson, who you all know, and previous board members have been working for years to secure some sort of grant funding, seeking donations to somehow improve our fairgrounds. The community continues to rent our unique building, whether it be a birthday party, a memorial, prom, retirement party, or a family reunion, which only helps us earn some additional revenue. Operating costs for us have increased at an alarming rate. In the last couple of years, we've been forced to expend funds meant for our Mineral County Fair. We have had to upgrade the antiquated water system, increase inadequate electrical capacity, yearly repairs of the roof, painting and maintaining our vendor booths for nonprofits each year, and maintaining the inside of our building to protect our beautiful wooden floor from leaks on our roof. This in addition to the rapid rise in utility costs, including electricity, water, propane for heat, and garbage pickup. Vendors and local organizations are having to spend more of their fuel and supplies in order to bring us their services. The Mineral County Fair Board does not want our fair to diminish because we're not able to afford to provide our fairgoers with what they've come to expect and love. A fun, safe, 3-day event in the 54. We have come before you requesting additional funding. Last year, the Mineral County Fair had its best year ever. Our vendors, our nonprofit organizations all saw huge increases in their sales. Our local businesses, Darlow's, Durango's, S&S, Mineral Pharmacy, Four Aces in Napa, Big Sky, Town Pump, and the Mineral County Sheriff's Office, the Hilltop, plus businesses in St. Regis and Missoula all had an increase in revenue for the week of the Mineral County Fair. Our Lions Club ran out of beer at least one night of the fair. Our Cabin Fever Quilter saw an increase in the number of people attending the quilt show. You have entrusted us, Al, Maura, Anna Marie, Nikki, Brittany, and myself, and Ken, to put on our annual Mineral County Fair. Our goal is to enhance and improve what we did last year, to increase our numbers, to bring more revenue to our area businesses, to bring in great entertainment and kids activities, and give our attendees a fun-filled weekend with family and friends. Previously, our funds have been reduced instead of increased. Our building is in need of much-needed repair. Our bathrooms need to meet ADA compliant safety and sanitation requirements by the county. our kitchen upgraded with commercial appliances, our lighting needs improved, our vendor booths repaired. Again, our roof needs repair. We need to improve how we heat the building. We'd like to improve with signage and do some beautification of the grounds. We, the Fair Board, are deeply concerned about the deterioration of the 4-H building. Consequently, we are requesting the bare minimum of $125,000 for repairs to bring the 4-H building up to minimum safety and compliance standards. It's time. On behalf of the Mineral County Fair Board, I'd like to thank you, the commissioners, for your time, and we look forward to seeing you at the 2023 Mineral County Fair. Thank you.
Thank you. Sure.
Hi, my name's Maura Johnson, and I'm recovering. I have some letters of support for our request. The first one is from Chris Darlow. The purpose of this letter is to express my support in favor of Mineral County Fair Board's request for funding. Since joining this wonderful community roughly 3.5 years ago, we've learned and embraced how important the fair and the fairgrounds are, not only to the businesses of the area, but to the Mineral County community as a whole. Events held at the fairgrounds including the Mineral County Fair, generate revenue for local businesses that we would not have otherwise. If the improvements suggested in the Fair Board's requests are not completed, the future of the fair and other events would be in jeopardy. Existing facilities and equipment could become non-functional, and the county could be held liable if someone were to be injured or became ill. The fairgrounds is a host to many functions throughout the year and is one of our only large gathering places for our community. We held our first company Christmas party in the 4-H building, and it was wonderful to have the area for us to be able to gather at a reasonable cost. At this point, the fair has been one of the only major events that draw substantial people to the Superior area. We've made it a primary focus of our business to be a huge supporter for all local events and the Mineral County 4-H auction. It's one of the big events we attend to support our outstanding youth in the community. Without the fair and other major current and future events, many businesses would not be able to show the support of the community that we have. Thanks, Chris Darlow. This one's from the Mineral County Performing Arts Council. For 40 years, the Mineral County Performing Arts Council has rented the fairgrounds and bathroom facilities annually when the Montana Shakespeare in the Park visits and performs for our communities. We're glad for the privilege of bringing live stage entertainment benefiting many people and families who attend to enjoy an evening of professional theater. The fairgrounds are a focal point for gatherings and should be maintained and improved to preserve and enhance community experiences. Specifically, we hope that planting some new trees is being considered for the additional shade and increasing aesthetics of the area. We're proud to announce the return of Montana's Shakespeare in the Park with a performance of Andre Dumas' beloved swashbuckling play, Three Musketeers, on September 4th at 5:30. We wholeheartedly support improvements to the fairgrounds and their preservation as an entertainment venue. Another letter from the American Red Cross. The American Red Cross has partnered with Mary Jo Berry in the Superior community to host blood drives for the last 20 plus years. Over the last couple of years, we've been utilizing the Superior 4-H building at the fairgrounds to host our blood drives. Since we started hosting the blood drives at the 4-H building, we've collected 168 units of life-saving blood for patients in need. The efforts of Mary Jo and donors in Superior have always been greatly appreciated by us, and their support of the community blood program will go a long way towards replenishing blood supplies and ultimately saving lives. We're grateful to be able to use the 4-H building and hope to continue to use it in the future. Those are just a few of the support letters for and then I can get you all a copy.
Yep, we would appreciate that. Thank you.
My name is Ken Burley, and Commissioners, thank you for giving the citizens of Mineral County an opportunity to have discussion before you finally take a vote on this important matter. The Mineral County Fair has been a part of this county for more than 60 years that I can remember, since I was a member of the Rustler 4-H Club back when I was a young man. With a growing number of people attending our fair and rodeo, it is also grows the revenues for our countywide businesses, gas stations, convenience stores, grocery stores, motels, restaurants, plus many more. By upgrading our facilities and investing in the future growth in our county, our fair buildings, food court, fair office, animal barns are in bad need of repair. The Fair Board is here before you today to ask you not only to make up for the neglect that the buildings have received in the past, but also to invest in the future of not only our 4-H youth, but the county as a whole. They ask you today for the bare minimum to have a respectable fair. Most commissioners prefer to leave a legacy for their accomplishments. Please make the fair your legacy by redeeming yourselves in support of this extremely important matter. I understand the concerns for financing. It's always a problem, but it's my understanding there is money available for this project through the Local Assistance and Tribal Consistency Fund. My understanding is that there's $1.4 million out there right now available, and it's also my understanding that it is for these type of projects. There's also another $1.5 million coming available to the county in November. But this fair needs immediate attention. It needs it now. As you can see from the pictures, it's deplorable the way it is. And our fair comes up in August, and if we could get those funds appropriated to help the Fair Board, they could start immediately, and we could have our first great fair in a long, long time. I also understand there will be others that will be trying to convince you that there are better ways for these funds. I've heard rumors that a mill levy would be necessary for this project. Why would we ask the taxpayers for their support when there are potentially federal funds available? As I'm told, this money could be used for repair or run down beautiful historic courthouse and jail as well. Please do your due diligence and make a decision based on your own knowledge of needs to make our county the beautiful county it once was. On a side note, there's a significant amount of money coming to the county based on the increased investments. Currently, monthly investments are netting around $21,000 in interest, up from somewhere $3,500, $4,000 not too long ago. If with current projections, with the CDs that are coming available, that increases by another $19,000 a month. Those monies have not been spoken for as of yet. They could be budgeted before they reach your hands, and they should be given to the Fair Board. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Kathy Burley, and I'm here to talk in favor of the fair being brought up to good standards. It's also my understanding this money that's available, there's a bill before our U.S. Congress right now. If this money isn't used, it's going to have to go back to the federal government. So I don't know if it's true, but it's been on the news. I'm stating my position to be in favor of the upgrading of all the buildings that house the county to maintain them in good repair. I believe our fairgrounds and buildings need the utmost attention. Our 4-H program, which our daughter was in and learned so much, is one of the only activities for kids in Mineral County besides school activities. We got a skate park, we don't have a pool. Kids in Mineral County don't have a lot to do, but 4-H is a big thing. It teaches them responsibility, stewardship of animals, large and small, sewing, cooking, woodworking, mechanics, all valuable life skills. The proceeds from the annual sales help fund college education. I know the Donnelly boys used to show their cattle every year, and when they sold them, sometimes here, sometimes in Missoula, they made really well on them and tucked it away and put them through college. Our fair buildings are in need of repair and upgrading. I don't need to go on about that, we've already seen it. Our fair brings classmates together, family reunions, music, 4-H displays, rodeo. It's the largest event in Mineral County next to the St. Regis Flea Market. Please dig deep in your purse to help fund these repairs to the fairgrounds. I cannot believe that our food booths are up to the state standards, nor our antiquated bathrooms. I'm sure the food vendors that bring trailers each summer to downtown Superior are scrutinized far more than our food booths are at the fair. By looking at the pictures, I set up a soda fountain in St. Regis one time, and the pictures of those food booths, they would have never passed for my soda fountain. It would have been done for right there. So I don't know why our sanitation isn't saying, hey, these things need to be done, and the bathrooms especially. I saw one lady at the fair last year trying to get into one of those porta potty handicaps. It took 3 people to try and horse that wheelchair around to get it through the door and into a handicap. It wasn't a very good setup.
Thank you.
Hi, thanks for having me. My name is Tamara Weewick, and I would like to see that the 4-H building get renovated and come to code. I'm here representing the United Methodist Church. We have for 28 years done the pancake breakfast that is well attended and actually expected almost anymore. I've been in this area for 58 years. And we have been using the same kitchen for 28 for this project. I know the only reason that we pass the sanitation inspection is because we make the extra effort to make that happen. The kitchen itself will not pass. I see if we had a commercial kitchen, we could use it year-round. The 4-H building, the 4-H could teach classes, how to cook, how to can, and how to be self-sustaining. The fair is a big, big event. It brings people back from the past, brings families together, you make new friends, and if we don't do something about the building now, we're not gonna have it in the future. And you know what, it's gonna happen in a time we're gonna need it and it's not gonna be there, and then what are we gonna do? So, please, please dig into your pockets, help the future of the Mineral County Fair and 4-H. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Diane Magone, and as a former 4-H member, which I learned a lot of things through, and including how to run meetings. We were on TV once years ago on Channel 13 with a meeting, but I forgot it all by now. But anyway, I just want to talk a little bit about the safety issues of that building. I am amazed that it can even be insured. And along with the building itself, also the vendors' booths, I can just see it as a disaster waiting to happen. Another thing I want to comment on is, and I don't want to risk shutting down our fair because of this, but we rented the fairgrounds last summer before the fair, and we had to clean, we used one of the food booths and we had to clean it up. It was full of rodent poop. And, you know, I mean, we used Purex and whatever we could, but I just think that, again, it's another thing another problem waiting to happen. I believe strongly in 4-H, and I appreciate that building being here, and as been said before, it's one of the few public places we have. And I realize we all would like a new 4-H building. Well, that's not going to happen for a while, and who knows how long it will take to get that. In the meantime, we need to use this building, and we need to make sure it meets the standards and is usable and nobody gets hurt. Thank you. I really urge you to help do something with that building. Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Chair. Very good.
My name is Jane Evie. I live at 2202 Quartz Loop. I will make this very short and sweet. For all reasons previously stated, I do support the funding that has been requested by the Fair Board. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anna Marie White. So I do want to talk a little bit, the Burleys have left, but we did discuss the use or the creation of a commissary kitchen. So I did do some research on that, and we are actually going to be probably doing some more. But one of the things that Mineral County as a whole lacks is a commissary kitchen. So we do have food vendors that are available to us, but are utilizing kitchens in Missoula because there are several. So the creation of a kitchen that could be rented out on a daily basis, a weekly, consistently, would be very beneficial. The numbers that I kind of used, it would take us only a couple of years of some consistent use by just a handful of vendors to recover the cost of the installation of the kitchen. So it's a very, very quick turnaround. And like Tammy shared, they are able to use it for their efforts in fundraising and providing food for the community. So I think that that would help offset any cost. So I was thinking that if it got to the point where we needed to discuss the figures, that would be an important, I guess, piece, because it would eventually very quickly pay for itself. And then I have, any questions on the commissary kitchen? Nikki is very familiar with all things construction, and she would be able to help us actually line out what would be required. And then we, in my research, we do have access to the folks in Missoula already doing it. So none of that would be of any cost. It would just be gathering that information, putting it together, and then getting it out to you commissioners to take a look at it. But any questions about that?
Anna Marie, I think that we have questions, but we'll wait until we hear everybody.
Okay, so I do want to just share. So I did do a poll. The poll is now about, let's see, 19 hours old. I have had 405 Mineral County residents vote. And some of the questions that were asked were, how often do you go to the fair? What do you spend your money on? And there is an overwhelming amount of votes out of that 405 that do attend all 3 days of the fair. So that means that they're spending money all 3 days of the fair. And certainly that money is going, which is pretty typical, to food and drink. So we know that our vendors are able to fundraise or recover all of their costs. And then we've heard some folks talk a little bit about 4-H. We do have a large amount of folks from the community that do attend our 4-H auction. We have 3 children that show hogs, and last year they did extremely well. Their buyers have told them that they will be back this year. But then there are some new folks in the area that we have contacted, and they hope to be bidders. So I'm looking forward to a little bit of a bidding war for all of our 4-H kids. And then I did have one person ask me to read a statement for her, and it may take me just a second to find it. If not, I'll just give kind of a little synopsis of it. She did speak to the fact that she has always attended the fair, but she does have some concerns. Some of it was about some additional food choices, and then some safety issues that we've kind of already heard about. She is greatly concerned about the ADA compliant bathrooms and some additional parking for folks that need to be parked in special sections, and some of the beautification. I think that was a word that Mary Jo used, just to improve. You know, it gets dusty, it's really hot. what can we do for that? So it would be wonderful if we could provide all of that so that we ensure that all of these folks come back to us. So I think that was everything that I had to share. I will look for I had one other comment, but I must have not saved it. But I think that that's everything that I've got. Thank you.
Thank you. So, if we want to go into, I have some questions.
I do too.
Mary Jo, first of all, we can never minimize the importance of that fair. To use a cliche, it is the fabric that holds the county together. And I myself can tell you that my kids come back every year, like everybody else's kids do. So we never can minimize how much that fair means to us as well. I do have a question about the figure you have of $125,000. Can you tell me how you derived at that?
I'm gonna leave it more. We actually had a contractor come in, that was kind of a low bid. And that was more or less just for the Quonset, I believe. That did not include, the vendor booths or any outside work that, that we were gonna do. I mean, we were trying to kind of hold it down as, exactly what we want versus what we need right now, so.
So when you say the building, did that include the commercial kitchen?
Yes.
$125,000?
Yeah.
No.
No.
That was bringing the building up to standards, basically, to sanitation wise, inspection wise, to bring it up to
Just the
code.
building itself, the shell, if I'm understanding correctly. Okay.
Yeah,
And bathrooms.
But that's part of
ADA
that,
bathrooms.
yes. Okay, so
And
nothing
not the
else
vendor
inside?
booths. That doesn't include, we want to beautify the vendor booths and do a lot of, that's why we're saying a minimum of 125. That's like
I understand, yeah.
itching a little scratch to a much bigger picture. I mean, you can put lipstick on a pig, but you can do that again and again and
Right,
again.
but so we need to
So,
understand,
yeah.
what is this figure and where did it come from? So I get it, you had a contractor come in that was unofficial, and they gave you a low bid of $125,000, and that was focused on the Quonset hut only. So, in the bathrooms in it, but no commercial kitchen or no upgrades otherwise, that's just the shell with bathrooms, correct?
No, that includes the.
Everything but the appliances, really, right? Yeah.
included the commercial kitchen.
Right.
It does include the commercial kitchen.
And the
Okay.
ADA bathroom, or
Yeah.
restrooms, yeah.
Okay, so the commercial kitchen is included, that was important for me to know. Okay, those were my questions.
Yeah, Madam Chair, I'd like to ask Mary Jo Berry back for some questions. I think it's easier for the gal to capture you, not to put you in the limelight.
I'm gonna turn like this because I'm gonna find these guys.
So, when I first became a commissioner, there's no question that 1952 Korean War thing it was falling down years ago. Well, first of all, I want to commend you, Mary Jo, and the fair board, because you guys have been working on a shoestring. Mr. Quitt and all of you put on a great fair you took me around, I saw some of this stuff firsthand.
And we appreciate that you came down and looked, so.
And the problem is, not to pass the buck or whatever, but we were wanting, so we had some things going on, like, we do have some money. We always wanted to try to, that CDBG grant, where we were gonna try and do the trade with the school and make a new building over there for everybody, but that's kind of stalled. There's been some issues with the land we had not being large enough to accommodate water and sewer on this funny trapezoid. So then it was, well, we can maybe tie into the city. Anyway, long and short, it's gonna be a long process. So I guess I was gonna ask you, if we were to, you mentioned a lot of other improvements, but would you prefer fixing up this dilapidated 1952 Quonset hut, or would you prefer, if we were to find the grant or the money, to rebuild a building on that current land and not even try to involve the schooling work? Because obviously that's taking years to even.
Well, see, and that's the problem. You guys know Carol Johnson. And I can remember when I was on the fair board before, that we came to the commissioners to do a land swap, you know, with that property up by the hospital versus where the elementary, or where the junior high used to be. And then Carol retired and, you know, here we are, what, 10 years, 12 years later, and we're still
Right.
dealing with a building that needs repair. And, you know, I mean, there's all this talk, but nothing's getting done, and we need to do something.
Right.
You know, we need to do something now.
So that's why I'm kind of asking, so we have,
A new building,
we have some federal money, and I wasn't being rude when Mrs. Burley was talking, I was texting to ensure that forest-related local tribal money could be spent on that, which it can. So, but I guess what I'm saying is, all the other things that you mentioned, I mean, if we were to grant you the dollars now, would you and your board be able to spend it on those other things you wanted? And then still maybe get a grant to just build an entire new building, so that we're not putting a Band-Aid on this building? But you mentioned, I mean, somebody mentioned and we got the bleachers done thanks to the Lions Club with that
Right.
grant we did with them, but there's the animal buildings, there's some of the restrooms, there's just other stuff, but I'm just a little bit wanting your opinion. Do you really want this money to fix up that old building, or should we give you some money that you can make improvements and then maybe abandon this CDBG grant, swap with the school, and just get one newly built on the current ground that we have, which would satisfy many of the problems? We need a Superior Senior Citizen Center with a commercial kitchen. You mentioned the performing arts, they need a spot. We also, 4-H needs a place, and the fair. And I don't know what that building would look like, given that space. That probably couldn't be as big as the one we dreamed of across the road where the junior high was, but I'm sensing your urgency too, because I've been a commissioner for 12 years now, and that's been something that's needed attention all this time. And I'm being frustrated as you are with the government process and swaps and water and sewer and grants. And so anyway, I guess that's my question to you. If we can give you some money today, would you still want to spend that wisely on those other things that need improvement, or do you really want this building to be fixed up?
So one of the things that would probably work is if we knew that we were getting the money for a new building, we would use the 125 for everything else. Because certainly that is going to, you know, the fence needs to be repaired, you know, you saw the condition of the food vendor booths. So if we could in fact spend money to
signage.
Yep, there's
All kinds of different
signage, we
things.
need to get some sod, some gravel, I mean, there's just tons of work that needs to be done. So if we knew that we could take that 125 and allocate it to all of those other things on our list, and there's, you know, probably 75 things, and then we would just make the 4-H building usable for this year and know that we are getting a new building, I think that that would be the way to do it. We just wanted to ensure that we could put a fair on this year better than we have in the past. So I think that that's a wonderful offer, and myself would take you up on a new building by using the 125 that we're asking for today, stipulate that we use it on all of the other needed repairs, maintenance, upgrades, beautification.
So I have a couple of questions there. Because, Mary Jo, is it the intent of the Fair Board that really is your building? And yes, the senior citizens could come in and use your kitchen, but is this, you want to keep this the Fair Board? Yeah, so I heard you, I think, say senior citizens or somebody, and I just want to make that clarification because my understanding was you do want to be autonomous, and this does belong to the Fair Board.
Right.
So when we consider
The
this
senior
money.
center, you know, all these other, the senior center, the library,
Performing arts.
the extension office, you know, they're talking about like a big, huge community center.
Right.
We're more, I mean, we would like to just keep it a 4-H, keep it a a 4-H building, and if they wanna build their community center in 10 years or whatever, then we're not waiting, and we have a fair that we put on every year. And, so, I would love to have a new building down there. And then like, Anna Marie says, and use the extra money, for everything else that we need to do. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that needs to be done.
I just want to make sure that we have a clear understanding that your intent is not that, okay, now we'll just let every other, right.
We'll
This is-
do just like we've done in the past.
Yes,
If somebody
okay.
comes in, I had somebody the other day said that would be great because, we, like the courthouse, I know when Cheryl Dimon was working upstairs, she wanted to bring a group in, and there was no place in Mineral County, that, and she, evidently came down, looked at the fairgrounds, and, it wasn't, it didn't really work for them. But if we had a commercial kitchen and, it was, our lighting, everything.
Yes.
Then, our revenue, could increase. We've got like, you said today, we've got, food vendor, or trucks here, food trucks here in town that some of them are actually thinking about quitting because, they can't find a commercial kitchen to clean their stuff, so.
So, good, I think that is great clarification. It's not to share with other entities who they want to go into a building together. This is for you. You will continue using it the way you do. You rent it out, the community uses it, but it stays autonomous. That's what I've heard you saying.
And there is some exclusive use for 4-H in that,
Oh, yes.
it's
No,
got.
Absolutely, but when I heard the senior citizen would love a commercial kitchen, and I've sat on all of these different things, I don't think that's what I've heard you saying. Okay, so good clarification there.
And Al Atchison has been on our board for years. He was on it before when I was on it, and, that was kind of his wish, is that, the fair building, or the fair building, remain, exclusively for the fair. And, we rent, and if that building was fixed up, we could do a whole heck of a lot more, but.
Okay, so the 125 then, you're asking 125 to fix the Quonset hut up and put a new kitchen, a commercial kitchen in that Quonset hut for 125,000? Is that what you're asking? No? Yes?
Well, that is what was
I see heads
originally
shaking.
requested.
Fine.
Yeah,
That's why I
it
was
went
confused.
sideways, yep,
Yeah.
but that was the original request.
Right, that was the original.
That'll, 125 will pay
No.
to fix that building?
That's
up?
just minimum. That's the least amount.
Okay, so if
So
you're
I like what Roland's saying. I like what he's saying, we'll find, we'll do a new building, and then we'll use that 125,000 for the other stuff that we need to do, the appliances,
how will you do the new building?
how will we get it?
Yeah, you're saying we'll do the new building, we'll use the 125 to fix
Well-
everything up. Where will you get the new building?
So I was gonna go back to the CDBG grant, which Emily was trying to work on.
Right. She
But
should
it
be sent-
involved the school and.
She should
other-
be
That's
sent
not what
here
they
with
want.
it.
I know, I called her and she said she couldn't be here. So all I was doing is, since we're kind of stalling on that because of all the hurdles with water, sewer, school involvement, transfer of land, but the CDBG grant would be good because it's gonna be an expensive building, whichever one comes to fruition here. But also, they need things ticked off like, 4-H, fair, and, if the senior citizen center people could use the commercial kitchen on 2 days a week for their meals, they're
Yes,
getting
yes.
kicked out.
That's not what she wants.
She doesn't want
Yeah.
No.
Mary Jo, don't object.
I think we should go with Mary Jo's original request and focus on that, only because I've heard so many times what they want.
Oh, okay.
And I knew as soon as I heard you say senior citizen, that wasn't what they're looking for.
And if you're I was heavily involved in the CDBG grant for the St. Regis Senior Citizen Center. That was 5 years. just from the time they took, and it was in the process when I became commissioner. So maybe it was longer than 5 years getting that done. So it's gonna be a minimum probably of 5 years. Maybe not with the planning that we've done so far,
Yeah,
but it'll be a while. It won't
Yeah.
be next year.
no, I know.
For
what
one
you mean.
thing, you can't get everything together
Yeah.
in 1 year to do.
I
it,
just
but-
was wondering because,
Well, I'm just
I mean,
wondering where
I-
we're going
I
with
just-
it. So we're gonna,
if we repair that building, what will it last, another 10 years and we'll be
I
back
don't
here
know, but
again?
if we're gonna put a new building up, are we gonna put 125,000 into that building and then tear it down?
Dwayne,
Yeah.
wouldn't that include the commercial kitchen?
She said no.
She said the 125,000 does. We said a yes or no, a yes, yes, it does.
So it does,
It does.
It does.
that commercial kitchen can be moved if it goes into a new building.
Sure.
You know, so
Appliances,
Okay.
easily.
that cost
Then I
is
misunderstood
eliminated
that.
there.
But
So I just have another question. So, what about, and like I said, what about the money that Ken Burley's talking about? You know, I mean, it sounds like that money, you know, could be available to us?
Well, I think a couple of things here. He is right about that money, and you know, some of the things, this is great to add that to look at. We're looking at building maintenance here and getting this a safe building. But the other thing, what I'm concerned with is, with that money, would you be saying to her, well, we want to let all the other entities into your building? I just want to make sure that
Well,
you're
when she
getting
said that
what
they
you're
could rent
asking
it
for.
out, I didn't know if
No,
it
no,
could be,
yeah, rent it
if there's
out,
some kind of
but-
agreement that, because the senior citizen center currently, they're getting kicked out of where they're at, but they pay rent
They're not
to
getting
use
kicked
that
out.
kitchen down there.
Yeah. So if we go back to her original request for $125,000 to bring the Quonset hut up to great speed, better than just, it's not gonna blow over. Great speed, commercial kitchen, $125,000 approximate, because you need to get an actual bid. And then this would belong to the fairground and the 4-H to operate as it has operated forever.
Historically, for weddings and memorials.
I just wanna stick to that request so that.
It'll be a fair building.
Yes, it's a fair building, because I know that's what you want, that's what I've heard for a couple of years, that that's what you want.
I got one other question. I see a contract for related person here. What is one, in your words, what is 125 gonna get us?
I knew this was gonna happen if I came.
I'm sorry to put you on the spot, but you're the only one here
So,
that.
one, I wanna make sure it's crystal clear that there's no conflict of interest here, because I have talked about some of the other, and it's very separate. We met with the fair, many months ago, regarding this building. And they were looking at other, you know, contractors in general to speak to this. The scope is limited on this building in the sense of I'm just gonna say the back part. For those that have been in the building, I'm just gonna use the words, the back part of it. To look at a commercial kitchen to meet what they want. The difficulty in giving an exact number is the team isn't quite positive of what they want, and then how much money is there even to talk about? You know what I'm saying? Like, you can, I want $1 million house, but that doesn't mean I'm getting one. So is the money available? So that is the point. It would be to put in a very nice commercial kitchen. The appliances in that number, I would say, are not included, only because we don't have the exact appliance at the moment, because you and I both know, or anybody in here, you can make a huge gas stove and spend $50,000 on a gas stove, or you can spend $10,000 or whatever the case is. So there is some specifics that need to go into that, in my opinion. It is to make it clean in the back in the sense of sheetrocked, you know, square it off. It would give them some storage, because as we know, the Quonset has that arch to it, so you've got to deal with the design components of that, but it would be very clean, sheetrocked, meet all the expectations that you would with licensed electrician coming in and everything else.
The bathrooms would be absolutely ADA. My dad, many people know this, my dad's a paraplegic. And so, you know, he can't attend for the most part. I mean, he's got creative in his old age of taking care of things, but they would meet true wheelchair accessible, which I think is another level than just, I always delineate it because getting in with a wheelchair, and so there would be 2 truly ADA bathrooms. They could not say men's and women's, they could use them as unisex, so if you have a whole women's party there or whatever, who cares, right? Or whatever the case would be. So I think I absolutely think this is a necessity. Again, I didn't want to stand up because they're very different things here, and I'm very cognizant of integrity here, but this is an absolute necessity. We've walked around the fairgrounds as well. I still think there's some outstanding questions. So when I say it's an when the numbers, I think a bare minimum is a fair statement. I think the decisions, whether it's a brand new building or fixing this, but I mean, I think it's gotta be that whole package of looking at these vendor booths, looking at whatever, the fencing, you know what I'm saying, all this stuff they've talked about. You know, you're probably looking at, well, you're definitely looking at more than that to get the whole package. But I think it's well worth it. I think there's funding available in general based on what other people have said today. So please understand my
Yeah, thank you.
very
I hate to put you on the spot, but you're the only, you're the only person here that could answer.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I do have a question. So, $125,000 isn't very much money, really. So, what are the priorities? Is like the roof one of the biggest priorities in the bathrooms? I mean, would you kind of have a priority list of where you would start? I mean, I'm sure putting in a commercial kitchen is really, really expensive, but it sounds like that some of the repairs, like the roof and the holes in the side and the holes between the bathrooms, and obviously people getting into the bathrooms and those horrible cupboards, you know, I mean, there's just, do you have a priority list?
Well, priority would be, you know, the bathrooms, you know, making them safe and ADA and whatever. And then I think, the roof probably. You know, there's a huge long list of things that, you know, we, you know, appliances, you know, where we need to look at appliances, we need to look at, just, you know, cleaning it up. But like I said, our wish list is, you know, a new building would be wonderful.
No, I was just wondering about a priority
So how
list.
about this? We can tell right now that we wouldn't be able to approve this because we're not ready. But our ears are open and we are ready to have you bring in some actual bids. You know, let's find out what you need. And you might have wish list number 1, wish list number 2, and wish list number 3. Different totals on each one. But we have to do a little more investigating before we would be able to say yes, because $125,000, we all know sitting here, that's not really the number that we want, because it's going to be so much more. So I don't know about you guys, but how do you feel about tabling this so that we can get some more concrete answers?
Yes, I think that would be fine, and we can, you know, get some contractors in there and,
And Mary Jo, could you do like A, B, and C, top of the line list, mediocre, and okay, we'll settle for this and be happy? Okay, so you guys?
Let me just ask one final question before you move to the table, but,
I'm not gonna move to table.
Oh,
What do you want?
so, I only brought up the other groups because that ticks off more of the boxes. If you really feel that you just want the fair building to the fair building, then you have, your board has the latitude to go, yay, we'll run out for this function, yay or nay, but, so, the CDBG grant, we still probably would have a good chance of it because of our situation in Mineral County and the situation of that building. So I guess I'm kind of looking back to my original question. If you took the money and did, improvements to the vendor booths and the animal barns, et cetera. If we could get Emily to get the CDBG grant applied for, whether it took 3 or 5 years, would you prefer an entire new building, or would you just want some money to fix up? Or is the building not able to wait a couple, 3 years? Is it gonna fall?
I don't think you can go 5 years without doing
Some attention.
something to that building, because you're gonna lose the entire insides
So-
if the roof
So
fails.
some critical, so maybe the money could be used just to make sure that it doesn't fall in on people, but not, I'm saying, rather than put all the money into the new building and then end up wanting a new one, but.
If you don't mind me interrupting, Ron, I think the question that you're trying to ask maybe is, do they want to be in on the part of a new community building, or do they want to stay with the fair and we'll fix the fair, probably knock the Quonset hut down rather than repair it would be the smartest thing to do, I would think.
No.
No?
No.
No what?
No, we do not want to be part of a community center. You know, they're talking about, the community center, they're talking about, putting the senior centers in there, like I said, the extension office, the library. I mean, every small nonprofit or any, is looking for a home. And we have a home, and we want to, we want to keep it the way it is. And, there's always a problem of, well, when they were looking at doing the building over across the, where the junior high was, it was like, okay, well, Emily and them want an office, and the senior center want it, and then the senior center wants this, and then the school wants this, and, they only want it for wrestling, and, it was just like, no, we just want the fair building to be the fair building and rent it out to these small groups instead of have to worry about MOUs with everybody else.
And I understand, I don't blame you.
What about the space?
Keep the fairgrounds and whatever happens.
And Carol Johnson, when she was the chair before, we looked at other places to actually move the fairgrounds, and the closest one was out there by Ken Cool's. And that was voted down because of the liability of having a rodeo and a beer garden and all that other stuff, and then having the traffic on that road, and, so that's where your Mineral County Fair is gonna be. Sure.
Mary Jo, might one of your bids be a new building? But only specific to you, if you've got 3, here's our top one, here's what we'll settle for, and here's what'll work wonderful for us? Might that be?
Yeah.
But it would be only, but I just wanna make sure that doesn't get muddied at all.
Yeah.
That it is for the fair 4-H, not to be shared with all the other nonprofits.
Unless they agree to rent it out to whatever.
Yeah, and
They're gonna run it the same way that they've been running it,
Yeah,
right?
we rent it out to
Yes.
whoever, we've had funerals, we did prom 2 years ago.
Yes, you rent it out all the
Sure.
time.
And it's cheap, it's $100 to rent that building, tables, chairs, and I do the cleaning most of the time, so.
So there you go.
So if you do go back to your board, and maybe you can find out, maybe we can find out we have even more money, not less, to help spend to improve the animal barns and the vendor booths and all, and then maybe find out what the cost of just the temporary fixing of the current building to wait out the process of a grant to help build a brand new one. I don't know, I'm trying to find a balance.
So we can do
where
a total wish
we
list
don't
of
wanna put it-
everything. we
That's
want.
what, yes.
Yeah.
A being all of it.
Yeah.
The vendor
I think
booths, the
so.
fencing, the signage, all of it.
Okay.
And then B and then C, just dumb it down a little.
And recognize some of this building you can't not put together. Like
Right,
when you're fixing
right.
the
Some of
roof,
it can't be
has to be in line,
Yeah.
that's not gonna leak on the sheetrock or the floor.
Absolutely.
I'm just saying, there's gonna be some
Absolutely.
common sense things
Well,
that
priority,
says,
yes.
while you're here,
Yeah.
you gotta do A, B, C, because it's gonna be way more expensive to do it after the fact. You know, let's not get the cart before the horse in certain scenarios.
And I think, Julie, to that point, when they sit down, and you can tell me since it is your area of expertise, when you sit down with your contractor, that's all gonna go into your into your bid,
It
because
is.
he's not gonna let you.
I think exactly, one, there has to be decisions made by the board, meaning I want this or this pretty close layout, you get my point of what's in here. I think two, I think what I'm hearing in general for them, so again, I'm trying to keep two separate hats here, for them is that there is money available to get things done before this fair season, because there are some critical things that need to be done before August. And then there's, like you said, afterwards, that there's that potential is the word I use for it.
Yeah, and I'm not sure when that tribal money is available, so that is something that has to be checked on too, when you say right away, I don't know. We need to check into when is that money available to us. But
I am gonna speak a little bit for them, and regardless but they do have some definite needs.
yes, absolutely.
Before August, and so I think part of that consideration, and I'm trying to look at all these ladies and make sure I'm getting a head nod since I didn't come prepared to have this conversation, is that, for you guys to think about where you can get some money that can be available by August for their immediate needs.
Yes.
So if they want a brand new building and it's gonna take 6 months to design, well, that's not gonna happen before August if that's the request, is my point.
Right.
But they need some money, available now before that August. And you've gotta think about people's schedules in general, no
Right.
matter who's doing the work.
Yeah, right.
Yes, and so I
Yeah.
really don't wanna stop the discussion, but we do have another meeting coming up, so if
Just a
you
quick
are.
question, is there
if-
ARPA funds available for
Well,
this kind of
that's,
Emily's running that, I don't know if you
Yeah.
guys have tried that.
but so here what we wanna do, what funds are available? Let's table this, if everyone is in agreement, you get us what you need, and in the meantime, we'll be looking for the money, with full understanding that you need something before the fair.
When would you be meeting with your fair board later, so what time?
Next
So we can get,
29th.
we can kind of ballpark revisiting this with you, so that enough time for us to research the
Can I-
monies and.
Yeah, one second, could you just get that?
And then enough time for you to meet your board and do priority A, B, C, or whatever.
The 29th.
Tuesday,
We're meeting next week.
Can we just say that because we know how long the grant money, all that stuff happened in St. Regis, that they need a 5-year patch on the building? So that so if you get stuck, it's still good for 5 years. Hopefully the building comes much sooner. But is it safe to say we need a 5-year patch on the hut?
Well, right now, we're not even, right now, we're not saying that. Let's wait till we get the contractors in there and
No,
see.
that's what I'm saying,
Yeah.
is that the expectation?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
So that all contractors here, is it one season or is it several years?
Should be trying to.
That's why I'm asking that
Yep,
question.
Put
yep.
that on the agenda again for April.
It depends on how much work is gonna be done.
Yeah.
I mean, we're gonna do, my understanding is we're gonna do the work that needs to be done to fit this fair year, and then progress from there.
And
Did I
hopefully
say
there's the
that
money to
right?
get it fixed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because you're not gonna get it all done.
No.
If you were gonna put a new building. you're not
So
gonna
we
get it.
do need to move, so do you need to move to table it, or does the chair do the tabling?
I don't
Okay.
care.
Okay.
I don't know, I'm not really sure what the legalese of.
All right, all right, so I'll move. Yeah, hit the gas.
If we could, just for a second, so that we can legally table this?
I'll move that we today table the decision to be made at a future date next month or whenever Mary Jo Berry can convene with her board, and to allow us time to research our monies too and their appropriate applications and see what we can do. And then when Mary Jo calls Darren, then we can have this on the agenda at that time for an action item. Law motion, I'm sorry.
I would second that motion.
Thank you, commissioners. So, everybody in favor say aye?
Aye.
Aye? Any opposed?
Aye.
None?
Oh, you didn't let me say aye before you said
Oh, I'm
opposed.
sorry.
Now we thought I was opposed.
I saw it coming out, I was going,
That was my motion, I approve.
Yeah, okay, so, yeah, motion carried.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you for coming and presenting. Thank you.
Great discussion.
And we have a couple of minutes for a break.
We're gonna go to the store.
I don't like it.
We're gonna argue the statute. Female entrepreneur party. I got to sign up right before I hold out.
I'm sorry, I knew Roman, so I didn't like the switch in his hat.
Oh, I don't care. As long as it wasn't on my head when you did that.
I'm not armed, I can't go anywhere. I left my court meeting yesterday. So, yeah, I was just, I gotta go to the floor and I just worked out here. My husband is jealous. When I got there, I was And I take care of two, and then she was gonna kill me. I mean, yeah, I like it too, but not that much. My turn's next. One little. I said it all last time, in session, not going
He actually put cortisone in another spot and it's never been there, and it's been doing really well. And it's only bothering me every once in a while. He says, since I'm so young, he wants to wait and see if it's crazy, or just hold it together for a while. Yeah.
This is me being much better than that.
Yeah. Yeah, you hear I ran into him at the going to joint when you were sitting working on it.
Oh, Leroy?
Yeah. Oh, no, that was, it was, oh my goodness, it was that? Oh, God. He was supposed to drop something. But yeah, it.
And every 4 months it's coming back.
Yeah, he was too. Yeah, Jordan was there too. But yeah, that guy was pretty good. And it was amazing. They put the shot in the last time.
No.
It needs to be started doing swelling.
See, they didn't get it when I had it.
Yeah, just a bad spot. So that's like he went in below, and it actually helped a little better to try to go in through the top of the side. And they didn't get that. The first time they did. Yeah.
And I had it settled in, it's just super bad. So I was like, that's almost a month. Yeah.
So I was fortunate that I was able to, I mean, we were supposed to connect, I think it was Wednesday, we were supposed to be on there he is, our newest. These two were like working out. And I was able to get my here's a bill for
Yeah.
It was Linda's, mine, and then his.
Somebody's there.
Well, actually, I think the only thing I really needed to pick up was the milk, instead of bringing my giant gallon jar of sugar that he doesn't like. I mean, well, no, he has some.
Looks like it's been there forever. We had those slugs in a month. Kids were losing
Really the big,
even little food was where the patches and this right.
He's got the nice haircut, and he's starting to have a roof, I mean, once before, they were too much in the building, they would have doors that would
How have you been? It's so good to see you.
Hey, Don, are we supposed to be on right now?
We're on, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I have.
It's just, it's, you know, take a minute to breathe. I have views about it.
Yeah, we're
In
on.
every pocket, you hang
This
a
thing
free-
that watches all the NASCAR races and they do this. Oh, let's crank it up. Just to listen.
Is Dwayne here? Did he
Yeah,
get to go? Okay.
That's a bathroom break.
We are behind schedule, so we're gonna get going right now, and at 10:40, we should have started with Joellen, approaching this, approaching, what? What? Well, I have Joellen. I know, I'm sorry. She's coming to talk to us about changing the size of the shed for the museum. And I did have a comment asking me to keep the back of the room quiet.
There we go.
Okay, here we go.
Thanks, Darren.
I know I said to you, reapproaching the size, but I went home and I watched the video of when I came in February, and your last words to me, Dawn, was, just get back to us about the size so Darren can put it on the insurance. So I wasn't really locked into a 10 by 12,
Well,
but that's what I said.
And so when I said whatever, because the insurance needs to know,
Yes.
they wanna know everything,
Yes.
so I might have said that in a misleading way.
Okay,
Yep.
so Do I have to say everything I said last time?
You're asking us to put a 14 by 14 shed on the museum. And you did all of your specs and everything, and you still know a 14 by 14 is not gonna hit the power lines, and then I'll hand it over.
And if I may, Madam Chair, was it that same day?
Yes.
I walked over to, I'm sorry, I didn't know you were waiting for me all that time.
No, I didn't. I live there. It's
Oh,
okay.
okay. So I went over there and I looked at the exact spot, and her husband had it spray painted, including where the awning of the roof would be. And it happened to be a part where the parking lot kind of jogs in, so the building actually is in line with the other building, which is smaller. So expanding it to 14 by 14 actually does nothing to encroach on the parking area. And there is a propane tank there. And I called the propane company and they said they have no problem with that building. They can still fill the tank easily. And there happens to be, there's like a door from the basement. So the perfect spot for the building too is that they'll have a door at the back of the shed, and when they come out of the basement, they can march right in there. So it's actually a good spot, and there's actually, I think it's better than the other side myself. Because that does kind of encroach on the parking area. So anyway, I'm just saying, I have pictures on my phone, I only took 2 of them. One of them shows her measuring, but.
You had a question?
No, I didn't.
So I do wanna go back though, if we said we approve any size.
No.
I'm
You just
sorry.
said get back to us about the size.
Okay.
For Darren's sake, for the
Yep,
insurance.
okay.
And
So-
to examine the location to make sure it didn't impede anything.
Yep, okay, so do we have a motion?
I would make that.
Wait a minute. Learning the new rules here. Is there any comment from the public on this before we make a motion?
It is a very good idea because our space in the basement is getting very full. And we need to move some of the bigger items out of there into the shed. And that's what we need the shed for. Plus, we've got 4 historic signs for Cedar Creek now. We're planning on working on the next 5. We might have 12 to 13 signs altogether. These signs are fixed so they fit in a sleeve in the ground. So we can take them out in the winter.
Oh, good.
We need some place to put them. Right now, the 4 are laying on the floor in the basement, right where we walk. So it's kind of a bad thing. And hopefully we can put up some arms in the shed where we can set the signs on up off the floor.
Okay, and we do need to move along because we're a little bit behind. So thank you. So if there's no more comment, we're gonna go ahead and take a vote here. So do we have a motion?
Sure.
Okay,
That
you,
motion.
you move that
To
we,
approve the 14 by 14? Is that what we said?
And I will second that motion.
okay, any further discussion here?
In that, are you gonna specify the location, or have you already just decided that?
We discussed it. Wherever you painted it on the ground is
Yeah.
the location.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah,
Okay,
That way there's
so,
no controversy. If he makes the motion, there's no controversy.
Nope.
nope,
Yeah, I think you're basing the motion on were you here when I said where I went over and saw it?
No, I wasn't.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah, we talked about both locations and I.
Building has been located.
Yeah, by the propane tank.
so I'm always dying to say, without further ado,
Yes.
don't even know where I am
You
now,
were
thank you,
gonna say,
Leroy.
oh,
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposition?
Thank you,
No, motion carried.
Okay, can I ask one more thing?
No, you're done.
I prepared a
I'm
piece of
kidding.
paper for our files and for your files. I just typed it out real quick that you guys gave us permission, the size and the location.
Oh, you're organized.
Oh, gosh.
It's not gonna help.
You're
If
good.
you guys want,
Okay,
if you wouldn't mind signing those, then I'll put one in ours and you can have one for yours.
okay,
And
all
then,
right.
and then I'll sign it as a representative for the,
It's not because we're big, bad, and scary?
no.
No, it's
Okay, never mind, I'm just.
Mother Nature.
Mother Nature.
So did you see that question?
And I'm not gonna,
Wasn't
I don't think that needs to be recorded.
about,
Okay, so did we miss our 11:50 because we were,
I never did see her come down.
okay, she might be busy with,
early 30s.
in her office.
And then that was your copy for you guys.
Yes, got that.
Do you want me to sign your
Yes.
copies?
No, that wasn't that where the
At the bottom?
Oh, you did.
It was down on the.
Probably not important, but this is what.
You go right ahead.
Thank you.
Okay, so if you want to make that clear, whoever was asking wanted to know. So clarify, yeah, and what it was and how long it was. I just, more information on it.
The pavilion, the dance pavilion.
Do you remember it?
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, thank you. Good to see you.
So we went that
My
long?
mother.
And you might be busy. We might have to cancel that. That's okay.
They do have that.
35, what's that number?
I don't know.
So
Do you have the phone numbers over there from the commissioner's office?
Think so? Look, we don't have a little daily on here.
See, somebody keeps moving my phone list that I put over there. Why would anyone move that?
Somebody could call every number on there, see if they got on
Interesting, yeah. I think it was a little bit,
that tree.
well, my dad was born in 23, so he wasn't very old.
Casey?
And of course, it was-
Roman here, I'm sorry to bug you, can you transfer me over to the
There she is.
Oh, never mind.
There she is.
I figured you guys would be the only ones that would know.
Okay, thank you very much.
And
Bye.
Kay.
Mom just told me that she was.
Okay, we have our 1150, Mary Mueller from the Treasurer's Office, and she is presenting month-end finances. Welcome, Mary Mueller.
Thank you, and welcome all of you.
That's nice to be welcomed. Never thought anybody's gonna welcome us.
Glad there's not a million.
Oh, this is good to hear. Okay, another thing for doing. Did you even get
Speak
this
in
stuff?
front of this thing.
Okay, we're ready.
I have a really big mouth.
Oh, if it's really big mouth, you don't have to talk in there. I guess. I'll let you know.
So what I just handed out was the, it's a bank reconciliation worksheet that is done monthly. I don't think I got the right one. Let's just read that one.
That's okay.
Do you have the one that
I might. I saw what I thought was like just a half of one.
It was in my request to come today.
So this one?
That one.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, guys.
That's okay.
This is just backup for what I gave you was the second page. That's just backup for this. On this, we have all of our bank accounts, and I'll be better next time, I promise.
Mary, it's okay. Yeah.
We have a sweep account at Trail West, and every night, the money kind of flows in and back out, because you can only have so much money they have it in numerous banks. FDIC is $250,000 per account, guaranteed. So they just pull out our operating expenses. But
Payroll,
otherwise,
claims, et cetera.
yeah, everything that we paid for the month. So next week, you'll see that there's a Trail West sweep account. Today we have, or at the end of February, on February's books, was $4,836,789.10. And then we have a money market, had $160,000 in it, which is our operating expenses. That's where we pay for things out of. We have Raymond James securities investments, 110,000. Raymond James in CDs, 563,000. Raymond James cash, which is just, it's all the process of the investing. We had 8,187.55. UBS is another investment company we're with. The cash in that account in February was $14,263.97. And the UBS, same company, CDs, had $8,405,000 invested. We have Trail West CDs that are mainly St. Regis. They do their own investing. One of the CDs has $138,825.16. Another one is $9,571.08. The third one is $105,146. And the final CD is $127,377.63. We have a petty cash in the clerk and recorder's office of $100, and our cash drawer that we keep nightly for operating expenses in the treasurer's office of $500. The outstanding checks, $170,260.71. Deposits in transit, $1,817.82.
Mary, what does deposit in transit mean?
It means we put a deposit in, but it was not recorded on the books.
Okay.
It was, and that can, you can do that with payables. Your outstanding checks are obviously the checks that we've written out that have not been cashed. Any questions?
I'm sorry, I had a diversion there for a minute, someone trying to get in and the door open, so I'm sorry.
Nope, you're good.
I do have a question about, only because I hear a lot about that Raymond James. Can you tell me what you're doing with that?
Well, they're generally, in the past, have been 5-year CDs, so only part of it comes up periodically. There is not one coming due very soon, I don't believe. We are considering, we're actually putting together, possibly, we have to look into the legalities and everything of putting together an investment committee. And that way I'd really like the school districts to be involved, because a lot of this investment is their money, or collaboratively, all of our money. But I'd like at least 1 or 2 people from school districts. That way we can all kind of put our heads together and see what we want to do. Maybe they have some capital in that, we have to find out if you can enlarge the what you do with the budget in order to be able to spend money, whether we want to reinvest some of these investments in 5-year CDs that will keep the percent. We have pretty good percentages right now. Maybe do some in 2-year increments. But along with that, I think this committee and myself will come up with an investment strategy and bring it to you guys and see what you think.
So a couple questions. I just wondered about Raymond James because
that one we're gonna probably diffuse just because the amount of money in it. And
so then just to clarify, since your ad closed taking board applications already, are you gonna re-advertise then, or did you already get school systems involved?
I have not gotten school systems involved yet. So we have to really do some more research.
Okay,
out there.
Because we'll go ahead.
Is that the part of your research, and is whether the schools can be in on it or not?
No, it's more like double checking that it's legal to have a committee for investment purposes. The law clearly reads that I am in charge of it.
Right.
And that I cannot invest in high risk, play the stock market, whatever. I cannot. My job solely is to not lose any money. But of course, we do want to capitalize on what we can. Sure. So
then, if we have anybody call about that investment board, you're gonna reopen that, take more applications, because if you're gonna solicit the schools and they miss that deadline, maybe we have to follow that?
That's what I'm thinking.
Yep, okay,
As
very
soon
good.
as, but we're gonna do these other researches first before we
very
open
good.
it up again.
Very good.
I definitely want the entities that are involved, that have a stake in it, I would like their ideas.
Perfect.
So back to the Raymond James, you say none of that has come up to where?
It has not come due yet. There are quite a few that were callable, but they're only callable by the entity, not by us.
And the banks will only call those under what circumstances?
Well, they don't. We could poll them, but at a penalty.
And
And
so-
right now, a lot of them are less than what we that's invested.
And so the banks don't really wanna call those either because they're, okay, so even though they're callable, it's kind of a moot point. Okay,
And the
excellent.
penalty outweighs reinvestment.
We do have, I'm gonna have UBS look at some of those low interest rate CDs and see really how much, they're doing it, but the guy was out of the office last week, or this week. What we would lose and how many years it would take to make up that loss if we were to pull it out, penalty, in lack of interest, that kind of stuff.
But some of those, the list I was looking at looked like some of them are coming due like this fall or summer.
A lot of the UBS, there's
Oh,
five
the
at
UBS,
UBS
okay, not
that is coming.
And I think April even, don't you have one coming due in April from, yeah. So that investment board stuff for you
So
is,
that's kind of why I was kind of trying to rush that so we could get them in.
yes.
My thought is to pull that, just set it in an account that can sit there until we decide how to reinvest it.
Yeah. Excellent.
Any other questions?
So, Mary, do you have an interest rate on your CDs? Do you know what the interest rate is?
It's all over the board.
They're all various, depending on when they were moved over by Mariano.
So each entity, kind of like, so the banks that went down in California, 250,000 is all they will cover, insure. And so with the amount of money that we have, there's quite a few entities involved. So each CD is a different entity. It cannot be the same entity because then we would risk losing it. So
Those larger valued ones are probably more risky than I suppose too.
they're all very safe. They're all under that 250,000. I know that when I perused through the Raymond James ones, you know, some of them are at 3.3%, but then you still have those other ones that were quite a bit lower. And it was just because of the bank at the time, the market.
So I think we've made arrangements for you to come in every month. Do you think that's enough, or a quick update like this? What's your?
I think these updates, if everybody wants numbers, if that's what people want to hear, that's fine. If we want to do like a workshop for investments, once we get that investment committee together.
Workshop for investments. It sounds over my head.
So just so we can kind of put our minds together, and then we can come with a plan. We can
Okay.
say this is kind of what a collaborative plan between the committees, the schools, what they want to see,
So-
and go from there.
I think that it's important, yes, to keep us updated also on what you find out your research. Is it legal to begin with? And then secondly, are you reopening, and are you gonna call the schools and say, I really wanna see you on this? Just keeping us informed is so beneficial. Thank you.
And then I can just, I mean, I don't know what your process is, but if, you know, if you want a quick blurb that you want to update, I can give you, you know, committees up and going, so that I don't have to come in here and kind of God and everybody talk.
It's a good thing for you to come in and talk because this is of great interest to the community, to the county. So for you to do that, you do a very nice job talking, you'll be just fine. But I would say, would you reach out to Darren and get yourself on the agenda to do these little updates?
Yes.
Okay.
He already gave me the form, I
Good
filled
deal.
in the basic information and photocopied it.
And so for the next one, yeah,
Put the date on.
perfect. So set your own time
Frame.
for your next
Get
one.
on what we
Yeah,
got going.
yeah, thank you.
Next time I'll bring my page. It's been a chaotic morning.
Thank you, Mary.
Thank you, Mary.
Is this your stuff? Yes. Thank you for taking care of me.
Mary, could you introduce please your new employee to us?
I'm sorry.
Oh, no
Peggy
apologies needed.
Carroll.
Hello.
She is our newest addition to our office, and she's amazing. Yeah,
Peggy McCarroll.
McCarroll? Okay,
Like Carol with
excellent.
an MC in front of it.
Nice to have you on
MLC.
board. Thank you.
Okay, yes, thank you for that reminder. I wanted to bring her in to kind of see what, how things are going and what she will do in my absence. Thank you very much.
Thank
Yes,
you,
have a
guys.
good weekend, have a good weekend. And with that, that's it until we come back at 1:15 for the Shyrock Motor Coach Community Phase 1B Subdivision Improvement. So happy lunch, everyone.
So that's what that part means, is that
Okay.
when public comment comes in to comment,
Okay.
it doesn't just fall on deaf ear and go, okay, she.
Well, right.
Because then they come in the next week and they say the
Yeah,
same thing
right,
again and again.
right.
So some things, like I said, don't require being put on there because there's really no action you can
Right.
do. It's just someone going, I don't like the way Dwayne combs his hair. Well, what do you do about that?
Yeah, yeah, okay.
Well, he could change his hairstyle, but,
I don't have enough hair to worry about.
You could change it.
so that's what that part.
Loose that up.
That's what that part of the resolution.
They make them shavers, you know.
Okay.
So like today, during public comment, I wrote up a couple of things. Give an answer on what we want to do with Spanish. At the same time, what we think of live stream. At the same time, extra mics, we can talk
So you're gonna
about.
put that on the agenda?
Yeah, so that people,
Yeah, I mean,
Don't-
you're gonna tell Darren and you're gonna put it on the agenda.
Oh, you want me
So
to?
I don't, yeah.
if you're the chair, I don't want to step on your toes
How is that stepping on my toes?
because you're the one
It's
who
one more
sets
job for
the
me to
agenda.
do?
Well, I thought,
I know, but you give it to him and then he gives it to
Okay.
me.
How long do we do?
I will do that.
15 minutes.
I can do
I'm
that.
just trying to get you guys to loosen a little bit of the load off of my shoulders.
Oh, I thought you liked all this.
I love this, but I can't do minutes and I can't do everything.
No, I told you I'd help you.
You can.
Well, Roman, let's see.
On my
Show
Google
me.
Docs that you can't interpret
Show me
anymore.
your minutes.
Show me in a minute.
Yeah, so I don't think, that's not something on my toes by you reaching out, Darren, we need this on the
Okay,
agenda, and then when he sends it, and
okay.
he's got something he's supposed to do, and you've got
Okay.
some minutes to do, and,
Very good. I will do
yeah,
that.
I just don't wanna be responsible for everything, I need some
And
help.
do you remember who it was that said that they had some mics up here? Was that Dave Green?
Fair board? Was
Oh,
it the fair board?
No, I think Wally said it.
Oh,
I think it was.
okay.
I don't know that for sure.
I know the fair board has said they have mics and
Oh, do
speakers
they?
too.
Okay.
Oh, what was that little heart? Something, maybe it's gonna say,
What do you know?
Okay, I'm gonna ask you a hypothetical question.
Okay, hypothetically, I'll answer.
Highway patrol, since you're down that lane. So let's say you pull me over, okay?
Oh, I would love to.
Juliet.
Ride her up, ride her up.
So let's say out by the, you know where that dip is right before the Y, it's 75, right?
Oh, yeah.
So let's say you mess up and write me 65. If, like you said, I was going 75 and it's 65. Can I get out of that ticket? Hypothetical.
Hypothetically, that's the wrong charge, so you would go and show it to the court and they could dismiss it because it's inaccurate.
Darn it.
What, you don't wanna get out of it?
No, I do.
Why'd you say darn it?
I was just kidding. I was being
You're
facetious.
kidding? Oh. No, I mean, that does happen sometimes. Sometimes people are new and they don't understand the code or the area or.
Well, the guy was so hard-nosed on my license plate being dirty. And I'm like, we live in Montana. Have you seen my road up 6 Mile? Like, one trip down is like filthy. He goes, this is so dirty, I can't see it. I volunteered to get out and clean it for him. No, I'll do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
One time when I was still on the highway patrol, somebody down in Lolo called me because I've always been